Blassie is no dummy. He has watched matches and films and
Kick
films
the neck!
of
Kick
Backlund.
the neck! Kick it!
Sheik now going for the camel clutch.
Kick it! Kick him!
Not sure what to do. Blassie's telling him to kick him. He's waiting for Bob to sit up
Kick the
so he can
neck.
grab that camel clutch of his.
Kick him!
Now he's got it. He hooked back and back. He's ready to center the ring.
Pull on it!
Oh, look at the pressure he's putting
Pull
on.
on it!
Look
That's it!
at that.
He's sitting right on that lower back.
Is he ever pulling on it?
Pull on it!
And Backlund's got a bad neck.
Pull on it!
Oh,
Pull
no.
on
Backlund did
it.
not submit. Arnold Skaaland threw something into the ring. That's the same as a submission. If I'm correct, that's the same as a submission. We have a new champion in the World Wrestling Federation. Arnold Skaaland, knowing that Bob Backlund would not quit, threw the towel in. I can't believe.
So there it is. I figured no better way to kick off this episode than watching the Sheik make somebody humble in the old camel clutch. So welcome to another episode of the Jumping the Rail podcast. This is Mark Redman coming to you from Champaign, Illinois, joined by Minderz as usual. Minderz, how we doing? You're back from Florida.
Back from Florida. I'm really getting tired of us having to do a 10 bell salute though before every episode.
Yeah, we got to. I mean, obviously we do it for a reason, but I wish we
Right.
didn't have to every episode.
Me too. Past two. Past two.
Yeah. It's always in clumps because there was like Jay Briscoe and Lanny Poffo were back to back also, if I'm not mistaken, when we were
We're
doing
pretty
this.
close. Yeah, they were pretty
Yeah.
close.
But yeah, just to address the elephant well, I should say maybe the camel in the room. Last week, we said goodbye to a legend, Minderz, who's, I mean, you could say unique all you want to when you're describing the Iron Sheik, but he really was just a character in and of himself.
He was his character. That's what made him great. He was his character.
Well, to an extent, his character was him like jacked up to 100.
Isn't that what they're supposed to do?
Ideally, yes.
Yes.
It's not always the way things go these days, but
Well, that's for
Sheiky's,
sure.
Sheiky's a throwback. He's back when you lived the gimmick and nobody knew any secrets or knew your personal business and all that stuff. They just knew you as the asshole heel you were on television.
Kayfabe was alive and well.
Yes. But yeah, Iron Sheik passed away last, I think it was Wednesday, and like early in the day. So this is, of course, the first episode we've had a chance to do since then. So we can't give Sheik the full tribute treatment just because we put him in the Hall of Fame about a month ago.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about Sheiky then, but we're gonna get into quite a bit here. We're gonna have somebody jumping and helping us out here in a few minutes. But
Well, we got
until
somebody
then,
in the chat trying to help us out.
we
Did you
got
see that?
we got it. We got AJ in the chat. If there is another side, Sheik showed up, kicked in the door, and yelled, "Where's the Jabroni Ultimate Warrior?" Yeah. Oh man. You look at Sheik. He was the definition of a shooter back when he broke in. I love the story about how he came over because first off, check this out. So that's him young
Goodness.
when he was an amateur champion in Iran. Dude, he was like
Jacked.
Jack. He's like the definition of an athlete. And in Iran, wrestling is God there. No pun intended.
See what you did
But
there.
yeah,
Ah,
but yeah, Sheik, he's a champion wrestler. He wants to be in the Olympics. All this, they make him he's so legit as a shooter. They made him a bodyguard to the Shah of Iran's wife,
yeah.
and they don't fuck around with their security people in Iran, especially
No.
back then. It was he followed it. There was a guy named I forget his first name. Takhti was his name. He was the big stud wrestler in Iran back when Sheik was young. Takhti died. He got killed Well, he died under mysterious circumstances, we'll say. Nobody knows for sure what happened.
Oh, one of those situations.
Yeah, so Sheiky basically just hopped on the next freighter over to the U.S. He only knew, and I'm just going off of what I remember seeing, because I watched the A&E biography of the Sheik not too long ago. It was really well done. I recommend it to anybody. It's on YouTube if you don't have A&E. But when he came to America, he only knew 2 words of English, and it was Alan Rice, who was the head coach of the Minnesota wrestling team.
Uh-huh.
So when he got to the airport, he just kept saying Alan Rice over and over again until somebody finally tracked Alan Rice down, and he came and took him in, made him an assistant coach for the University of Minnesota wrestling team, made him an assistant coach for the Olympic team.
Jeez.
Then Sheik wins all these AAU amateur tournaments. Just stud, no other way to put it. Look, I mean, here, look at this guy. Look at that.
I'm not even sure I would recognize him if you showed me
No.
that picture and said, "Here, this is Iron Sheik." There's no way.
Yeah, all the hair on top of his head should be under his nose. That's how I would
Exactly.
recognize him.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he came in, because after he worked with the Olympic team and all that, then they sent him over to Vern. They wanted to make him a pro. So
Yeah.
Vern trained him, made him a coach. Like after he finished training, he would train. I think he trained Flair. Like he was the trainer when Flair came in,
Wow.
and Steamboat and guys like that. And he was doing. This was the gimmick he was doing. He was doing the I don't want to say all American, but the white meat super athlete babyface.
Yeah.
Then I guess Vern's wife is the one that suggested the Iron Sheik character to him.
I heard that.
And, or at least suggested the name. I think he went
Yeah.
full bore on the character. And I'm going to show you a picture, Minderz. I want you to tell me what you think of these sideburns. This is the 70s.
I'm
this
nervous.
Is the 70s.
I'm nervous about this.
Okay, this is the 70s. I'm going to preface this.
Okay.
Between the suit and the facial hair.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if you
Those
can
are
call those
terrible.
sideburns.
Yeah,
Those
those
are camel chops, I guess you call them.
I
Mutton
guess.
chops?
What would you call those?
For a listener I'm going to post this picture on our Facebook page after the show for those that aren't watching the feed. They're going to get this on audio later. He's got the traditional Iron Sheik mustache,
Uh-huh.
but then these 2 hanging hairy jowls underneath that aren't connected to the mustache.
It looks like where his, where they should be, except they shaved him off and then put them at the corner of his mouth and it goes past his chin.
Yeah,
That's the easiest way.
Yeah, that's about the best way I can think to put it. Not a good look.
Not a good look at all.
I think he was wise to lose the little chops and just stick with the mustache. And
I will agree.
yeah. So he goes to the NWA. They send him down to the Carolinas. Excuse me, a little gassy, a little too much foot beat this afternoon.
Too much foot beat.
Too much foot beat. Look at this motley crew here. That's Gene Anderson in the suit, Ole's
Right.
brother, and he was the manager at this time. And the tag team champions on the left, that's Ray the Crippler Stevens and Jimmy Snuka, which I wouldn't want to tangle with that tag team for all the money in the world.
No.
And then on the right, looking majestic as always, we got our buddy Sheiky as the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion. And yeah, he was kind of sent around to the territories almost like as a hired gun kind of in storyline.
Right.
Like if a heel manager needed to put for a lack of a better term, a hit on somebody, they would bring Sheik in and he would kind of be their hired muscle.
Back and make them humble.
Yeah, or just drop suplexes on everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
Because before there was a Kurt Angle or a Taz or a Benoit, there was a Sheik. And Iron Sheik was throwing all those. He was the first guy that I remember seeing do a German suplex. Always did the gut wrench suplex. Everything. He was just a wrestling machine. He was Greco-Roman, I think, was his specialty in the amateurs, which is where all the suplexes come in handy. But yeah, he would just go around. He went to Mid-South and feuded. He was Skandar Akbar's guy in Mid-South, feuded with like Paul Ellering and a few other people before he went. And then here's a cool thing I saw here, Minderz, because I didn't recognize this at first. This is the first family in Memphis Jimmy Hart, you see down
Yep.
there. Can't miss Jimmy.
No, you can't miss Jimmy.
You got Bobby Eaton. You got, I'm not sure who these two guys at the bottom are. I want to say one of them was Sweet Brown Sugar, maybe.
That's
that
what I
wasn't-
was wondering.
If that wasn't Coco Beware, I can't keep track. I'm kind of behind all my Memphis. This is where Keith Gibson comes in handy. If he was around, I'd ask him.
Keith.
Yeah, I don't know if he's listening. He might be busy selling cars right now. You know,
He could be.
doing what he does. But look at that upper right there. You see Sheik. It's like
He's the one that
wearing
stands out the most in that picture.
Yeah, pretty much. It's you look at these guys. None of them are exactly chiseled Adonises here. I mean, got Bobby Eaton there on the left.
Right.
But then you look at Sheik. Sheik just is athlete. If he had a middle name, it would be athlete. Iron Athlete Sheik.
Iron Athlete Sheik. That okay.
Well, I mean, he already had four names. We saw it in the on the 10
Right.
bills. I guess when he first broke in, he didn't use the Iron Sheik name. Like when he started doing the character, he didn't do it up in Detroit where the original Sheik was. So he would go under the Great Hussein or
Yeah, I
Hussein
remember
Arab.
I listened to well, I listened to Corny, but
Oh yeah.
I know they talked a lot about Sheiky this past weekend after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
They I was on YouTube yesterday and I found the story that Corny told about when Sheik said "fuck the commissioner" in the middle of the building.
oh
Because the
yeah.
hard-ass commissioner said, "No, the wrestlers aren't allowed to touch the microphone." When Corny was the ring announcer, and he was trying to keep it away from the Sheik. He grabs his arm and says, "Fuck the commissioner." Oh man. Oh, the 70s or the 80s.
The 70s, 80s. Well, 80s. Because Corny didn't get in the actual.
No.
What was it? Corny didn't get in the business till 82.
Two, I want to say.
That was what I was
think-
going to say too. I was thinking it was 82.
Getting in the ring. He was taking pictures
Right.
all through the 70s, but
Yeah.
but
He was
no,
taking pictures when he was like 16.
maybe younger if I remember
Yeah.
right. But no, it truly was a golden time in wrestling in the early 80s. But it was just you mentioned folk tales about some of these people, the things they would do.
Yeah.
And oh my God. So Minderz, kind of the same way we did the Jay Briscoe episode. We're not, like I said, we're not going to do the whole thing on Sheiky, but I've loaded up some promos. You want to hear one?
I do. Let's hear some.
Oh.
Let's hear some Sheiky promos.
All right.
Did you pull any of his Twitters or his tweets?
I
'Cause
thought
those
about
were
it.
the
I
best.
didn't. I should have. But no, he was maybe my favorite Twitter follow in the world was the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
But I was just cruising through YouTube, finding some of these, and this one really stuck out to me. So I'm going to show it to you here.
Tonight, a very proud American Sergeant Slaughter one-on-one against the Iron Sheik. On that subject, I want to bring in Ayatollah Fred Blassie, along with Tiger Chung Lee. Yes, sir, Mr. Blassie.
I've got Tiger Chung Lee going up against that wetback Mill Moskers, and I guarantee you, this time we're going to unmask that pencil neck geek. And that pencil neck geek that just left, he just talking about the hallowed houses of the Olympic Auditorium. Well, I know every brick, every stone, every screw in that building.
Oh.
And here's the man we're all talking about.
Soldier
The
of
Iron
Father,
Sheik.
you're talking about Olympic Auditorium, Los Angeles. Look at all the medals. I didn't buy it, soldier. I bought the Red Olympic 60 at Mexico City. Now, in the Los Angeles, I'm already getting excited. I'm on the doctor. Bring me down. Los Angeles, California. I promise all the Iranian people, all the Arab people, all the rare American, Los Angeles Olympic Auditorium. I'm already excited. Soldier, I lost something to Hulk Hogan. I'm going to take it from you. خدمت همه شنوندگان ایرانی عزیز که در لس آنجلس زندگی میکنن سلام عرض میکنم مخصوصا مرتضای تکیه مرتضای تکیه سلیمان خاقانی نوکر همه شما هستم ایران ایران the Iron Sheik آیت‌الله بلاسی همه دنیا پهلوانای ایران رو میشناسه Soldier Los Angeles Olympic auditorium I bring you down and I'm gonna kick you just like I kicked the lazy camel Woo! Woo! Belly belly.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, it is already working up to a fever pitch for the big one. Coming here to Los Angeles in this Olympic year to the Olympic Auditorium on Saturday night, April the 28th. Remember, Tito Santana return bout with Paul Orndorff for the Intercontinental title, Slaughter to meet the Iron Sheik, Mascaris to go against Chung Lee here at the Olympic Auditorium on April the 28th.
Breathe, Mark, breathe. Oh, he gets so worked up. It was great. Did you understand any of that except for Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles?
A little bit. I'll tell you why I picked that promo. Because the headline on it said Iron Sheik gets excited and impersonates a camel. So I had to put it on. I had to. And, it did not disappoint. Although
had you not watched it already through at all, or no? You said
I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw the end when he did the camel thing, but it doesn't get old. Now I should say we don't. I'm not thrilled with the way Freddie Blassie talks about the great Mil Mascaris, mind you.
Well,
that word seems to always be popping around. I try to avoid it like the plague. Like the last 2 episodes. Talk about Morocco, one episode saying it, and then Blassie does it. So.
Oh. Okay. I already am crying, so this is going to be a good episode.
But a good cry. It's
yeah. No. Tears of laughing is where we're going to go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because all of his promos were always he would get so excited.
Oh,
and you'd only understand 2 out of maybe 10 words that he actually.
The more
said.
excited he got, the less coherent he became.
Yes.
Oh my god.
AJ.
AJ Mifflin, Mil Mascaris owes JBL money to this day. But he still hasn't done a job in 60 years of wrestling.
Well, you know.
Sheiky. Yeah, we can't do this for a whole 2 hours of Iron Sheik because one of us will have a heart attack.
Probably. Or I won't be able to see anymore because my eyes will be full of tears from laughing so hard.
Yeah, I didn't dare put up any of the Howard Stern footage when Sheiky would go on because he was a favorite for Howard Stern. He loved having him on.
Did you I know they talked about Sheiky on Busted Open. Did you hear when they were talking to the guy that played Sheik on Young Rock?
Yeah. I think that was yesterday.
Okay, well, I heard it Sunday, so I don't know if it was pre-recorded or what, because I heard it.
They might have had him on more than once.
Gotcha. But he was talking about how he went to the Iron Sheik to talk to him. What did he say?
Mil Mascaris eliminated himself from the Royal Rumble to get out of putting anyone over. Not wrong.
But yeah, they were talking about how he went to go talk to Sheiky, and he's like, Sheik kept going, yes, I go be on TV. And he's like, no, I'm going to play you on TV. No, I go be on TV. Yes, I do it. And I was dying. I was just dying listening to him do Sheik's whole voice and everything. And it was hilarious.
I haven't watched a lot of Young Rock, but that guy does a fantastic Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
He was really the perfect guy to be the Iron Sheik.
And then they said they even took him in his family, like Sheiky's daughters and stuff, and it had just adopted him into the family. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought about rolling the dice on Instagram, seeing if I could get him to come on with us, but I thought that might be pushing it a little bit because, he doesn't know us. But yeah, for the most part, I wasn't really wild about most of the people that they got to play the wrestlers on Young Rock that I saw. Like
Yeah.
Andre did not look like Andre. Macho Man, I think Jay Whitey was the guy that got to play Rocky Johnson was very convincing. I thought he was good.
Well, and Becky didn't do bad as Cyndi Lauper.
That one I haven't seen yet.
Oh, okay. Well, she didn't do bad as Cyndi Lauper,
Okay.
but
Did she lose the Irish accent?
I don't remember. You know how long it's been since I've watched it? Like, Young Rock was seriously, okay, I watched it once. I can say I watched it. Now I'm going to move on because
Oh, it's
I
like half the
guess.
first season.
Well, it's like, I know a lot of it wasn't as stuck to the original storylines as what it should have been. So they kind of used a lot of creative freedom in it. So I was like, I'm just going to get aggravated with this probably.
Like, Macho Man wasn't booked in the WWF in 1983 or whenever Rocky was there. It took some liberties.
Yeah, it very well did.
Although I wouldn't hate seeing The Rock run for president.
I wouldn't either.
Hey, can't beat who we had before.
Exactly. Why not have 2 WWE Hall of Fame? Well, yeah. I guess Rock's not Hall of Famer yet.
Not yet, but have one
he will
maybe
be.
That doesn't maybe
not
get indicted this time.
Right? Well, maybe Rock will be in the Hall of Fame. Who knows at this point?
He should. I don't know how he hasn't been already. I mean,
they
were Hollywood this year.
He
had a rough week. Let's see. Young Rock gets canceled. He loses $60 million on the XFL.
Yeah.
The first season. Black Adam shit the bed in the theaters.
Well, yeah. Did you watch? Have you seen that? It did.
I haven't seen the movie, so.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna go back to the Fast and the Furious.
Where did you put that? It must have been in the. I'm looking to see because I know you sent me a meme that had how Rock was having a rough week.
I posted that on the Jumping the Rail Facebook page, I think. But
okay.
Yeah, Minderz, believe it or not, we're flying off the rails here.
We always do. I'm used to it by now.
Let's
go back to Sheiky.
Let's get back to Sheiky. Okay, so there we have the Persian clubs. Do you remember this gimmick, Minderz? It was like the strong man.
The things.
Like film behind his head and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody could do them except for the Sheik, and Bob Backlund did it, which is how they got to the world title match because Sheik beat up Backlund for making him look bad.
Mm-hmm. I love AJ.
Yeah.
I love AJ.
But they had you ever seen that Hidden Treasure show that WWE does on A&E?
I've seen it, but I don't follow it as close as...
I don't. I watched like snippets on YouTube, and they had one where they were looking for the Persian clubs, and they had Sergeant Slaughter and Flop Dalla going to find him. Because that was the season when he was the host, like he was the main guy. And
AJ, isn't that his name? AJ?
AJ, yeah. I think AJ Francis, I think is his shoot name. But Bob Backlund had him. After he did the thing, she gave him 2 sets of Persian clubs, like as like a sign of respect for being able to do it.
Oh wow!
And
that's cool. That's very cool.
So he has the pairs that he actually did it with, like the big white ones. But then he also had the ones from, well, not this picture, but they look just like these. Just the handles were different.
Yeah.
And so those are the ones that they got for the warehouse. But Backlund made AJ try to do them before he let him have them.
Could AJ do it?
He was able to get. It was ugly, but it looked all right. It wasn't as smooth as when Sheiky did it.
Well,
but
it's not gonna be. Just saying.
No.
Didn't Mark Henry say that he impressed Sheiky by being able to lift him or something? Or
he did the clubs. Of course, he's also the world's strongest man. And but then Sheik like almost practically adopted him when they were on the road for that loop. He just
right.
And we heard so many good Sheik stories this week from either it was Busted Open or Coronet or just going through social media. All these guys talking about Sheik.
I'm not gonna lie. I shed a couple tears. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Sheik gave AJ says Sheik gave Jinder Mahal props a month or so ago because Jinder posted a video of him doing the Persian clubs. Right? props to Jinder. I didn't know he had it in him.
Right.
I mean, he's a like a brick shit house, but yeah, I didn't know he would do that stuff. But yeah, Sheik was the kind of guy that he respected athletes.
He did.
Is the best way I can put it. Going back to when he beat Backlund, Backlund would not lose the belt to anyone he didn't think could actually beat him in a wrestling match, because Backlund was the same deal. He had the pedigree of being in the amateurs and everything. So Sheik was the guy that had to do it, and that led to, of course, I hate the fact that they made Sheik a transitional champion. I wish they would have let him hold the title for just a little bit longer,
Yeah.
instead of just 3.5 weeks before Hogan cheated his way to winning. Anybody seen that match? Knows Hogan cheated like a bastard in that match. Choked him with his robe, eye rakes, choking, just
Yeah, because
awful,
Sheiky never
awful.
did anything like that ever.
No, he did it, but he didn't try to hide it.
Well, that's
And
true.
he didn't do it in the guise of being an all-American hero.
That's true. Okay. Well.
But,
all right, Mark. So what was one of your favorite? I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
What was one of your favorite Sheiky opponent runs, like, stories?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, because I have another video.
Oh, do you?
And this was not prepared. You didn't know
No,
this.
it wasn't.
So this isn't like we're trying to be campy video people.
No.
All right,
it's
so
more of we just think the same way, which is kind of scary.
yeah. So I'm going to take you back to February of 1984.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. Wait, before we do that,
Do we have a guest?
Ja'Bari Sin Clair, how are you, sir?
What's happening, my people? My people, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just talking a little Sheik.
Sheiky baby, may he rest in peace.
Yes. So Minderz just asked me my favorite Sheik angle or rivalry, whatever, and I was just about to throw to a video before you came in, so I figured I'd wait till you came in so you can enjoy this also.
All right, sweet.
All right, so here we go. February of '84 I think this was in Poughkeepsie at a TV.
Iron Sheik, and we are anxiously awaiting for the opponent of John Callahan. Where is he? I can mean only one person. Sergeant Slaughter. There's a look at him. The Shark's making his way to the ring.
And I think the paths of the Iron Sheik and Slaughter are going to cross here.
The Sheik is coming out of the ring, and Slaughter's coming into the ring.
Wait a minute. Who's going to step aside? We may, Vince McMahon, have an altercation that we never in a lifetime would suspect between these two men. A heated exchange going on right now.
Well, it was Slaughter's match. It's Slaughter's match. Look at Slaughter getting down on the Sheik.
Oh, now Freddie Blassie.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at him. Look at that. Look at that. Slaughter's not going to take any guff. You can count on that.
Nose to nose, eyeball to eyeball. Heated exchange taking place between the Iron Sheik and former Marine Dion.
So there you go. So that's actually the start of the feud between Sheik and Slaughter, because they were both heels there.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And didn't Slaughter get in the ring and do the Pledge of Allegiance and got over with the crowd?
After his match, he did the pledge. It just shows how good of a heel Sheik was, that he could take Slaughter, who's probably, aside from the Sheik, probably the most hated guy in the company then.
Yeah.
Because Piper hadn't really gotten a lot of steam yet. He'd just gotten there. And it made him a white hot baby face within like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yes. Long enough to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's right. And then, as we know, they buried the hatchet and both supported Iraq after a few years. But
the whole Triangle Terror thing with Adnan.
Yeah, General Adnan, all those guys. But no, the Sheik Slaughter thing, I love it because, number one, the boot camp match is one of my favorite matches ever. It's funny. Slaughter's not my favorite wrestler, but he had two of my favorite matches of all time, which was the boot camp match and the alley fight that he had with Pat Patterson.
Pat Patterson, yeah.
81, I want to say it was. But
Jeez.
That sounds right.
yeah. You go with that clip there. I think icing on the cake is Mean Gene trying to do commentary on it. Like, oh, they're gonna fight. There's all this because it's Mean Gene and Vince, which you don't think about them as a commentary team very much.
No, you don't.
But they were for years. Like for a good while, they were commentary early.
For a couple of years, on the local on the TVs, they were. It was obviously Gorilla and Jesse on pay-per-view, and then eventually Vince and Jesse on main event. But when they first brought Gene in, they had him as an announcer. He wasn't always just the stick man.
Yeah.
Which we all know he's the best in the world at. Which some of these promos I have loaded up, it's just Sheik and Mean Gene, and it's gold.
Can we understand Sheiky in any of them?
Maybe a few words you can put together and figure out what he's saying.
Oh, we played one already, Bari, where
You
Sheik
missed
impersonated a camel.
Oh no, I was listening on my way home.
Yeah, once he gets excited, it's very hard to follow.
You need to go back and watch it though, Bari, because you see Sheik go. Blah, 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 blah.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous,
hilarious.
but I love it.
I was crying. I was laughing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes. But so speaking of Sheik and Mean Gene, let's go to another promo. What do you say? I got a few more of these. But I love the when they would go back and forth. Like Sheik would tolerate Gene during the interviews because it's like Sheik felt like Gene was listening to him. Listening, maybe not understanding.
Understanding is a bit of a stretch, but listening possibly.
Yeah. All right. So check this one out here.
Your man out of the tag team out of the last card has signed a single match with Corporal Kirshner.
Corporal Kirshner wasn't satisfied with the results of the last match and the tag match, and I said, gladly, I'll put you in the ring. Can you imagine Corporal Kirshner? He's representing America.
I can
when this is
imagine
a
that.
real man here. You can.
I can't imagine that, Fred Blassie, in all due respect. Iron Sheik, I know you turned down a major role in Miami Vice, but you did not turn down the opportunity of meeting Corporal Kirshner.
Corporal Kirshner, all American boys, Miami, Wrestling City. Now, Corporal Kirshner, you come to the Big Apple WWF. You beat bunch of American, as which is I respect you. But remember, like Mr. Blassie said, you're gonna wrestling from the oldest school, from the Olympic school, from Pan American Game, from AU, man. Now.
From the A to the Z.
Exactly. Now, Miami, Monday, April 28th. I hope all your fans, American boys, American girls, ladies and gentlemen, they're gonna support you. They're gonna say USA, USA. But that doesn't gonna help you. After I give you that suplex, I put you in the camel clutch, and all American, they're gonna say the Iron Sheik, Iran, number one. The Sheik, number one.
Sorry, the Iron Sheik in Miami to meet Corporal Kirshner at the Light Center downtown, Monday night, April 28th.
I love that during the flexing, he has to take a second to fix his mustache.
Yeah. Fix your mustache before you flex on him, Sheik.
Exactly.
School. I love his school.
Yeah. All I got from that was AAU and bring the boys and girls. That's what I got from that interview.
All American boys and girls.
All American boys and girls. Yes.
And the big
I understood more in that one than the first one. So.
Yeah, he wasn't quite as excited in that one as the first one.
Not
Must
quite.
have been sober, man.
So, Bari, do you remember the story about the night that Hogan beat the Sheik and the supposed bounty that Vern put on Hogan?
Yeah, wasn't it $20,000 or $25,000 for Sheik to break his leg or something like that.
100. It was
100.
100.
Oh, I was way off. Okay.
So I first heard this story in Freddie Blassie's book about 20 years ago when that Listening Pencil Neck Geeks book came out, and he told the story. And I guess Vern had called Sheik the night before and said, "Break Hogan's leg, take the belt, bring it to the AWA, and I'll make you the world champion and give you $100,000."
Wow.
Hell of a deal.
Well, Vern was hot at Hogan because Hogan jumped ship on him.
Because he jumped ship on him, but didn't let him know.
Right.
Coward.
That was Vince told him to.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, Vince did that with all the AWA guys. The only guy that Vince got from the AWA that didn't like screw over Vern and not fulfill his dates was Heenan.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
I remember seeing it in the documentary.
Dr. D, Hogan, all those guys. Yeah, when Vince signed him, he said, "Okay, but you got to start now." And I think Hogan, to be fair, was on his way out anyway because Vern wanted like a cut of his merchandise in Japan, which was kind of a shitty arrangement. But yeah, it's yep, yeah, AJ. Well,
100K back in the day, and he didn't do it. He's a better man than me. I'd break both of them just to be sure.
Well, so Barry, I don't know if you listened when Sarge was on Busted Open last week. I think it was on Thursday, and this came up, and I guess Sheik had told Slaughter this before he told anybody, because Slaughter was an AWA guy too, and he told Sarge he got offered $100,000, and Sarge said, he said, "Don't do it." He told him to tell Vince Sr., Vince Jr., like exactly what happened. He said, "Don't do it because we're going to make more money here before you know it." And that was because Sarge knew then that they were going to do the thing together after Sheik lost the title. And as I understand, they were right because they main evented all over the country with that feud. And
they did.
Made an assload of money at it,
Was it on Busted Open too? They had Vern's son, and Vern's son was saying, "Yeah, no, Vern never offered that. He never offered it."
Greg said it wasn't true. It's one of those wrestling folk tales. Nobody knows what's true or isn't. Hogan says it was true. Sheik says it was true.
Greg Gagne's a lying ass, and we don't believe it.
You think Greg's trying to cover for his old man?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Could very well be.
He's keeping kayfabe alive, I guess.
Aren't we all?
Well, we're all trying to.
Right?
Yeah. But it's like I said this before you jumped on, Barry. I hate that they didn't let Sheik have at least a few more months with the title before they dropped it to Hogan.
Yeah.
I know it was Vince's vision to have Hogan be the guy, but there's something to be said for the chase. Have Hogan chase Sheik a little bit.
Exactly, because that feud could have made some money.
Oh yeah. But that's what they wanted to do with Sarge. They wanted to have the super American babyface against the hated Iranian heel, which they had. I mean, I know they had a couple rematches after Hogan won the belt, but then they went running with Sarge. And the funny thing I heard also on Busted Open, to give credit where it's due, Sarge said that Vince Sr. had insisted he would never turn Sarge babyface. He said he was the greatest heel he'd ever seen.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
And then as soon as Vince bought the company, he's like, "I'm making you a babyface."
Let's take that off.
There's so many opinions we can have about Vince, but he was right though. In the long run, Sarge as a babyface made a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
it did, and it gave him another person to go to other than it always being Hogan.
Yeah, because they would run 2 shows a day, like on the house show loop. They would have Hogan headline one, and then they'd have Sheik and Sarge headline the other one.
Yeah.
So as we go, and like I said, I had so much fun this weekend just looking at some of these old Sheik promos.
I can imagine.
To decipher what he said.
Trying to decide what he's saying. If you listen closely, sometimes you can make it all out.
Yeah. I have a specifically incoherent one that I'd like to show you.
Okay.
Lay it on us.
All right. I'll just say in this he has trouble keeping track of what day of the week it is.
No. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Sheikh Alahani, Khosrow Vasari, the Iron Sheik, will be back in the Bay Area this coming Wednesday night. And Iron Sheik, as you know, there are many thousands and thousands of Arabians and Iranians in this area. Perhaps you'd like to address them in your native tongue, your language.
Thank you very much جین خدمت همه شنوندگان ایرانی عزیز همانطور که جین من گفت سلام عرض میکنم و موفقیت همه شما را آرزو میکنم.
Wait a minute, Sheik. Were you talking about my golf game?
No, I just said Jin Min said say hello to that people, which is I said for God
Thank you, you're right.
But I heard that the American punk with the flag come in the national TV and he insulted me. He said I was Olympic champion. I was WW champion. But I can't wait till I get to the Oakland, California, March 19.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday, whatever. I'm already sucked up. I'm already excited. I'm already upset because
You know, back in the Middle East, they say older is better, older is wiser. Is that correct?
Exactly, Jim. Now, Oakland, California, all-American city, wrestling city. I can't wait. See, I'm not Sarah Frost to show that punk Olympic move. But I'm Sarah Frost to take him down and beat him and make him suffer.
Thank you.
And then
Thank you.
I'll be happy.
Iron Sheik, yes, in Oakland at the Coliseum Arena this Wednesday night.
Thank goodness Gene was there.
I have no
Exactly.
idea who. I have no clue who he was talking about in that promo. It was a
Same here.
flag-waving American. It could have been Hogan, could have been Sarge, could have been Corporal Kirchner, could have been Ken Patera for all I know.
Anybody carrying a flag? Anybody carrying a flag to the ring? So who all carried a flag to the ring? Let's narrow this down.
Right,
Crap,
right.
we just did.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Duggan wasn't there yet, so I know it wasn't Duggan.
Yeah.
Speaking of flags, Bari, have you seen the Sheik biography on A&E?
Yes, I have.
I didn't know that Jerry Lawler painted the Ayatollah's face on the
Yeah,
flag. Did you know
right,
that?
exactly. Yeah, no, I didn't know that at all. That was a very neat fact.
Yeah. I mean, we all know Lawler's a really good artist, did cartoons and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was a really interesting little factoid there because Shiki just had the Iranian flag, but then, yeah, just kind of put it over the top by putting the Ayatollah's face on it.
Jerry was
I
so
don't-
good at all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if that would have got Shiki heat in Iran for defacing the flag, but if it was the
Yeah.
Ayatollah's face, I mean, they might have been okay with it. Because
They may have been, or they may have executed him publicly. You never can tell.
I
Yeah.
think that's why I don't think he ever went back, did he? I
No,
don't think Shiki
No.
ever went back to Iran
I don't think
No.
he did.
after he defected.
I don't think he did.
No.
Because
So-
he was in Georgia? Is that where he was at now?
Yeah,
I thought they said he was in Georgia.
yeah. I think he spent some time in Canada.
Yeah.
Like when I think he was separated from his wife when he was getting clean, and he was in Canada. But then, yeah, I think his family lived in Georgia. Or still do. They're still alive.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's so much stuff to talk about with Sheik. I feel it sucks for me because when I first started really watching Sheik, he was kind of at the tail end of his run. Because you don't realize he was almost 50 when he was doing the Colonel Mustafa stuff.
yeah, yeah, he
When
was.
came in. So when I started watching, he was already in his mid 40s, which is crazy to think about. So I didn't get to see, like, as it happened when he was like the stud, like Olympic athlete, all this.
What's crazy is
saw
how
him-
good he still was in his 40s and his 50s.
Yeah, not all that mobile. Like he wasn't moving
No,
around
but-
too well. But yeah, he could still throw the suplexes, still do the
Yeah.
camel clutch. He kind of had an underwhelming match with Sting at Wrestle War '89.
Doesn't everybody
kinda-
have an underwhelming match
Well,
with Sting at some point?
Well, that's not Flair.
Yet.
I mean, God knows.
Yet.
I don't think it'll. I think that's.
I
not gonna
hope not,
happen.
but
Dear
you never
God,
know.
no.
Well, we already know
No.
that. Well, we already know there's not going to be a Sting Jericho match, so we
Yeah.
can be thankful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But no, so Sheik goes. Even when he came back to the WWF doing the Colonel Mustafa thing, I didn't see it at first. I don't think I was home. My brother was, and he says, "Hey, Iron Sheik is Iraqi now." I'm like, "What?" I was like, I didn't get it. It's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, he's Colonel Mustafa." I was like, "Why would they change the Iron Sheik's name?" They could have easily kept him the Iron Sheik when doing that, But
Wow, AJ just had a really good fact there that I didn't know about.
well, let's bring it up here. And do we need to hire AJ as like a researcher?
Yeah, let's do that.
Pro bono, of course.
Of course, you're not really getting paid, AJ. We could buy him a six-pack.
Sheik started training that's true. I think he was like 30 when he started training. He was like right around 30. Didn't train for pro wrestling until he was at 35. So 35 might be pushing it a little bit, but right around there. If he had started training in his early 20s, he would have been training up like Gotch and Hackenschmidt, which, believe it or not, I think is the first time that Gotch and Hackenschmidt have been mentioned on this show. But no, it's true. If he would have started in his 20s, he would have been Kurt Angle level good.
Or better.
Or better. That's one of those, when you talk about dream matches, that's when you talk about Prime Sheik against Prime Angle, who would win.
Who? Hey, what the heck? Let's just make it an actual wrestling match. Let's really see him go at it.
Like a shoot amateur match?
Yes.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Oh boy,
so good.
Right.
You know what? I'd say throw Sheik against Lesnar in an amateur match and see who wins.
Yeah. 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 Wow.
That's something that I always wondered. Did Brock ever get any interest from the Olympic team to try to, because he won the NCAA in 2000. That was the year of the Olympics. I wonder if anybody tried to get him to go and to try out for the Olympic team, or if
They
Vince
wouldn't
just
pay
got
him.
I wonder if that's the thing. If he wanted,
I bet
wanted
that's
to get
it.
paid.
They wouldn't pay him.
Well, no, but Vince would.
Exactly.
Hey,
Vince would.
pal, forget the Olympics. Nobody cares about that shit, pal.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Olympics.
Probably didn't say that
wait,
when Kurt Angle was in earshot.
Yeah. There you go.
Shut up and take my money, both in their prime. Sheik versus Emil Gomez. Yeah, that ticks all the boxes, both in the ring and the angle around it. Yeah,
Not intended.
the angle is the thing to remember. If Sheik's doing the Iranian thing, then you got Angle, Mr. USA.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just print money.
Yes. It would definitely print money.
Yeah, that's one of those. People always talk about dream matches. They always say Brett and Angle. I'm with AJ. Give me Sheik and Angle.
Yeah. Brett and Angle would have been okay. I don't think it would be. Yeah, it wouldn't be as good as Sheik and Angle.
It would have been a decent pro wrestling match, but Sheik and Angle, you could work in the amateur stuff and the suplexes, and it'd just be great.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the gimmick battle royal?
Of course, because it's one of my favorite things on any WrestleMania. It is one of my favorite things.
My favorite Bobby Heenan line. My favorite Bobby Heenan line ever. By the time the Iron Sheik gets to the ring, it'll be WrestleMania 38.
Yep.
38.
Sheik won the thing just because he couldn't go over the top rope.
Exactly. God, right. Did you see how deep that waddle was going down that ramp? No way he was going over that top rope.
Oh yeah, that's one of those. I mean, it's the Astrodome. They had done the Silver Dome. They'd done the. I guess it was the Hoosier Dome when they did Indianapolis. It wasn't the.
Yeah, it was Hoosier Dome.
It wasn't. They did, and when they did the Sky Dome at 6, they could have brought that little forklift golf cart thing and
the little
ride
rings.
the Sheik to the ring. Even if the Sheik was the only one they do it for, they could have done it.
Well, let's. How
you know what? I'll do you one better. Put him on the back of Taker's motorcycle and let Taker ride him down to the ring.
There you go.
Holding the flag. But he'd start gesturing at people, then he'd fall off.
Right, but, probably. Let's see. So Sheik would have been how old then?
Let's see, 2001.
It was what, 40s?
60.
Yeah.
59.
Wow. Well, he
So,
didn't
he
take a bump though, so
He didn't take a bump, didn't go over the top rope. The only time he took close to a bump was after the match when Slaughter put him in the Cobra Clutch.
yeah.
He kind of went down to a knee.
And then
But
I think they helped him back up.
I think so. It's
Or he just
then, of
rolled out.
course,
and-
yeah.
What AJ
Gee,
say?
this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But no, it's not time to stop yet.
Yeah, I've got one whining at the door too.
My little executive producer's meowing at me down here.
I got one scratching
This
at
is
the
the
door in
long
the
one.
back.
This isn't the short podcast, Noodles. This is the long one that we do. Did you ever see the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view debacle?
Bits and pieces of it.
That's bits and pieces too many.
Yeah,
But
it was.
Exactly. It really is.
Sheik and Volkov were on that show. And I think they wrestled the Bushwhackers. if I
They
remember
wrestled the
right.
Bushwhackers, yeah.
Awful. I love all four of them. Horrible. There was nothing good about that damn show.
Nothing. And I've watched so many different reviews about that show, and nobody has a damn thing positive to say about it. It was just terrible.
AJ, was that the one where Yoko reserves like 800 pounds? Yeah, that's the same one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tony Schiavone did a watch along on his podcast with Conrad not too long ago, where they watched that pay-per-view and just nothing redeeming about it whatsoever. And I've got a friend, Dustin Danger, a friend of the show, who actually recorded it off of the pay-per-view, like when it happened. I think out of morbid curiosity. So I actually saw it like a week after it aired because he had it on. It was on the same tape as the Royal Rumble that year. So I borrowed the Rumble. I wanted to watch the Rumble, so I borrowed the tape from him. I didn't know that show was on it also. And my lord, it was the worst. Between the wrestling, the announcing, the commentary, it was just all horrible.
So a Rampage episode of AEW.
It makes Rampage look like WrestleMania.
Oh God. Oh my.
Oh my god.
That's rough.
So, yeah. So I got one more promo that I think we're coming up on hour 2. So I think when we start hour 2, we're gonna probably get off of Sheik and move on to a couple things here. But I got one more promo I want to show here. Speaking of Sheik and Volkov, excuse me.
I loved him with Volkov. I'm sorry. I love Sheik and Volkov as a tag. They were so good.
Yeah, of course I saw them in Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling first when they were driving in the big truck with the studded wheels. All right, so here's one.
Rockin' Wrestling.
So here's a Sheik and Volkov promo with Mean Gene, or as she called him, Gene Mean. You know,
Gene Mean.
Gene Mean. He called him an intelligent Jew more than once in promos before. Gene's not Jewish.
He's not.
No. I was like,
oh, Sheiky.
Can a man be a national treasure if he's not actually from this nation?
Yes.
I'd say yes.
Yes.
I think he's put the time
Definitely.
in. I think we can say that Iron Sheik is a national treasure.
Well,
All
how
right,
old was he when he came over? Well, how old was he when he came over?
Maybe 30.
So he spent over half of his life here. So.
Late 20s. Late 20s, almost 30 probably.
So
all right.
half of
so
his life was
all
there.
right. Yeah, all right. So let's show you Sheik and Volkov here. Here we go.
Sheik and you, Nikolai Volkov. We've got new champions representing the World Wrestling Federation.
Let me tell you, Gene, man, I consider myself and my partner Iron Sheik still the world tag team champions because we never lost the belt that was stolen away from us. And you look the history, you look the Olympics, you find out the Russian and Iranian take lots of gold medal Olympics. But what the British Bulldog did? Did ever any British guy from Britain took any gold medal Olympics? No. You know why? Because we are the best. And that's why we won British Bulldogs, because I know and my partner know we can beat him. That's right, Sheik?
You're absolutely right, Nicole. What do you want to ask him? Ask me.
I think you've got to give the British Bulldogs, you got to give credit where credit is due. They're high flying. They have that gymnastic style. They're good.
Jinmin, you absolutely right.
Exactly.
Exactly. But, who he beat? American.
Yes, Valentine and Beefcake.
Exactly.
Precisely.
Whatever. Don't get smart with me now. Exactly. Now. British Bulldog, whatever your name is.
British Bulldogs.
Gene, I'm already excited. I can't wait to that Russian man and myself till we get that two punk English bulldog. Just like Nicholas said, intelligent American, they've been rivalry, they read about Angle on who won? Nobody. Now, remember, sooner or later, this man is not Bruce's Beefcake, and I'm not Greg Hammer Valentine. I'm the Iron Sheik, and he's the pair.
We're right back. Stay tuned.
Number one. Look at me.
Someone please needs to teach Sheiky about time cues.
Yeah. I know when he gets
Poor
rolling.
guy.
Tell me that when you look at Nikolai Volkov in the mid-'80s, you don't see Claudio Castagnoli a little bit?
Yes.
Definitely.
Slightly bulkier version?
Yeah, a bulkier version. I wouldn't even say if it was bulkier.
Thicker.
Thicker. There you go. Thicker.
Yeah.
I like thicker.
Well, you know, Nikolai is the 320-pound Lithuanian, so.
That's true.
Yep. Not Yugoslavian, though. Not Yugoslavian.
Lithuanian. In the words of Bobby Heenan, Lithuanian.
Although he actually is Yugoslavian. He was from Yugoslavia.
Yeah, I know.
But Yugoslavian heels don't draw money, I guess.
Depends where they're at.
That's true. If they're in Mattoon, I'll bet they could.
I bet might.
They could be a prodigious heel from Yugoslavia.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. No.
Maybe prodigious.
Sheik.
Back on Sheik. Okay, let's wrap up on Sheik. Man, there's the last thing I'll say about Sheik. I love Bobby Heenan, I love Bob Uecker, but I think Sheiky had my favorite Hall of Fame speech ever. Because
what you could understand of it.
It sounded like the insane ramblings of a crazy despot from a foreign country.
Yeah, it did.
It sounded like a promo, and then same time cues. He wouldn't stop. Every time me and Gene would try to throw to the next thing, Sheik would wander back over, and get on the microphone, and say more things. And HJ made a point. It says national treasure. They never specify which nation. So that's good enough for me.
Yep, works for me.
Yep, and of course we put Iron Sheik into our Hall of Fame about a month ago. I feel bad. We talked about him for 25 minutes then. Little did we know that we'd have to do it all over again today. I mean, I'll talk about Sheik all day long.
I say there's no problems with talking about Sheik, but
it's like I just don't want to rehash things we'd already discussed, which unfortunately I think we probably did.
Wait, no, did we mention him knocking the head off of Barry Windham at WrestleMania 1 with that damn cane?
What cane?
Right, what cane?
I didn't have no cane.
I have never seen anybody get hit with anything so hard in all my life.
I mean, it busted up Sheik's hand. His hand was bleeding because he was serving potatoes with that damn cane. That's the thing with Sheik. Everything he did was over the top. I mean, nobody ever claimed he was unsafe in the ring, but when he gets excited, whether it's a promo or if it's using that damn walking stick, the kibosh old Barry Windham.
God, not only did he hit him once, he hit him twice.
I went back and watched it. I thought I saw the handle of that cane go into the crowd.
It probably did.
Because it was like a brass handle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Heck of a souvenir. Somebody got a hold of it.
Where's the treasures going to look for that one at? Come on now.
Yeah, right. Also, something to be said. First ever title change at a WrestleMania was that match when Sheik and Volkov won the tag titles.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any final thoughts about the Great Iron Sheik before we move on?
Still one of the greatest heels ever.
Exactly. And then some of his shoot interviews once he was out of the ring and well away from the wrestling ring. My God, this man is an absolute maniac, and he was a national treasure, like AJ said. Yes.
I may have to put some of the Howard Stern clips on our Facebook page after we go off the air, because I think he talked about running for mayor against Rob Ford in Toronto when Rob Ford was the crackhead mayor of Toronto.
Oh boy!
Like, I would pay to see the debates if she ever ran for office.
Oh.
But no, I definitely agree. National treasure. I would say arguably greatest heel of all time.
Definitely.
Arguably. But
AJ, you're right. We didn't mention the kayfabe killer on
the kayfabe killer
on the New Jersey Turnpike or wherever it was in 1987. I heard about that long after the fact because it was 1987. I wasn't smart. I was 5 years old. But just the idea that these two, I mean, Duggan was half nuts anyway. Then you got Sheik, who, I know,
he's fully nuts. It's okay. He's fully nuts.
And get pulled over by the cops. I can't imagine if the cop was a wrestling fan, what his reaction would be. Because those two were feuding.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just the fact it was an American babyface and a foreign heel. They were in a feud with each other at the time, and they got pulled over.
Yeah, right. They just totally killed everything. Them they killed the whole business.
Yep. Did you ever hear what Duggan said? Vince said to him was the next day.
No.
When Vince called, first off, Duggan thought that they were going to get away with it because nobody noticed. But then it was all over the news and everything the next day. Vince caught wind of it, calls Duggan, and Duggan said the first thing that Vince said to him was, "What have you done to us?"
Okay, yeah, I've heard this. Yeah,
kind of like what AJ just said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't get fired for getting arrested. They got fired for getting caught driving together. They got Wattsed.
Yeah.
They got the Bill Watts pink slip, as I call it.
Yeah.
But so Sheiky got fired, Duggan got fired, but they brought Duggan back. They still had some miles to go with Duggan, and I think Jake was the one that told Duggan, don't do anything yet. And I think Jake might have helped smooth it over a little bit. But yeah, Sheik, I think they knew he was about in the twilight of his career, so they didn't bother bringing him back.
I was going to say he was probably getting close to retirement anyway, so.
Or at least a much lighter schedule.
Yeah, much lighter schedule.
But that gave us the Bolsheviks, though. We got Nikolai got Boris Zukov, and the rest was history.
Yep. Literally. All right, Mark. We gonna close this up with Sheiky.
Yeah, let's close up Sheiky. Sheiky, rest in peace. Hopefully you get your, I don't know if the 72 virgins is a thing. I know I believe he was a proud Muslim, so I hope he enjoys his afterlife, however that may be. And we will tell tales of the Iron Sheik until we are in the ground ourselves.
I'm sure.
And,
yes, we will.
AJ's endorsing the idea to fire them for being in the car together. Fair enough.
Yep.
All right, so we got some other stuff to discuss here. Number one, something that made me very happy over the weekend. We have a new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Steve Macklin had kind of a short run, but look at this guy. Alex Shelley is the world champion now in Impact.
Very deserving.
I couldn't be happier, because every time somebody asks me who the best wrestlers are out there, and this is going back to when, like, in the indies, because I've been watching Shelley for almost 20 years, and he was always at the top of my list for best all-around wrestlers in the business. And
can't argue with that.
No, it's he always kind of got lumped into that X Division junior heavyweight category, but number one, he managed to go from being a successful singles guy on the indies, over like wrestling in Germany and Japan, all this, comes back over to the U.S. Then he starts up a tag team with Sabin, kind of out of the blue. It's when they started the Machine Guns in like 06. Then they go to Japan, win tag titles there. They come over, have a classic with the Briscoe brothers in Ring of Honor in April of 07. And that was all before they ever had any tag team matches in TNA. Like, the Machine Guns was strictly an outside of TNA product until like the middle of 07. And then they do the business. I don't know how much you watched of TNA back in 06 or 07.
I didn't watch a lot. I'll admit, I didn't watch a lot.
I didn't start watching until 08, so yeah.
Okay. Well, they got made in November of 07 by the Dudleys, when the Dudleys were working heel. And they had a tag match with the Guns on a pay-per-view, and the Guns beat them clean, which is really saying something, because they were, like I said, it was two X Division guys in what was being perceived as a brand new tag team. And they're going up against the Dudley boys, and then they wind up having a feud over the X Division title because the Dudleys are anti-X Division, so it's like a whole big thing. And
I want to say I remember that feud with the Dudleys and the Machine Guns, because I want to say the Dudleys did an in-ring beatdown of the Guns while Bubba Ray was doing a promo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
It was like a 6-man feud basically. It was the Dudley boys and a guy named Johnny Devine, who's a Canadian
Johnny Devine, yeah.
Guy,
may he rest in peace.
Oh, I didn't know he passed.
Didn't he? I believe Johnny Devine passed.
AJ,
I'm on it.
Yeah,
get our researcher on the case. AJ Mifflin, tell me if Johnny Devine is still alive. But then the Guns teamed up with Lethal. It was when Lethal was doing the Black Machismo thing, and so they had an Ultimate X match where the Dudleys won by climbing a ladder, so they didn't go across the cables. But no, the Guns. I mean, they took the basics of what the Buckaroos are, the Young Bucks, but they added the fact that they could actually wrestle and they could use psychology and they could work a good match. And
this says Johnny's still alive.
Okay.
Johnny.
Hot shot Johnny Devine.
Yeah.
Yep,
he's 49, but he's still alive.
Okay. I know somebody died. That's an awful thing to say, but no, the Guns had such a good run in Impact until I think Shelley got hurt. I think he won the X Division title once, and then they came back a couple years ago and just were doing the tag team thing again. And it's easy to forget Sabin was the world champion too in 2013, I think it was, when he beat Bubba.
Yep.
And it was I think it was strictly a feel good moment to let him have the. I think it was also a way to smooth over the fact that Dixie didn't pay for Sabin's medical care when he hurt his knee before that. But that I don't know that to be the case, so don't quote me on that. I don't want to get sued.
I got backed up by our researcher too.
Oh yes, there it is. AJ also adds, sad Macklin's run was so short, but I can't be mad about Impact finally putting some respect on Alex Shelley's name. That's true. And it's like I told AJ, because I posted about this on the Facebook page, and AJ kind of said the same thing in the comments. I don't think Macklin's going to be without that belt for too long. I think
he'll get it back.
I think he'll get it back. I think this was just something to do for Shelley to get him his moment, to get him a little bit of shine. But the business is Macklin and Alexander when Josh Alexander comes back from his injury. So that's what's got to happen. He's got to. It's to borrow a phrase from Cody Rhodes. Alexander needs to finish his story, which is getting the belt back. But the story was with Macklin. That was what was supposed to happen before Alexander got hurt. Mm-hmm. And then Macklin won the vacant title from I think Swan. I think was the other guy in the title match. But they've been doing promos back and forth. Macklin been taunting his kid and all this, all the good heel stuff that you want to see. So I need to see that paid off, and it's got to be Macklin and Alexander. Mate, I don't know how long Josh is out for. It was triceps, I think. It was shoulder, triceps, one of those.
Something with the arm.
Yeah, so he's gonna be out for a while. So I don't think Bound for Glory is going to be an option, but you never know. It could. He's a freak, so he might be a fast healer. You never know. Uh,
Yeah.
If that's the case, we got about 4 months of recovery time. So I don't know what the timeline was that he gave when he got hurt, but eventually that's what it's got to happen. And Shelley is the kind of guy, he's not hurt by any kind of a loss. He can always go back to the tag team thing, or he can just be the guy that just has the best match on the card every show
Yeah.
if he stays single.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so that was the big story out of Against All Odds over the weekend. I haven't seen the whole show. I just watched that match so far. Bully got beat up by Scott D'Amore. He got a receipt for putting him through a flaming table a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry. Kushida, not Swan. Okay. 8+ month window of time. So I think he's got about 4 or 5 months left on his recovery then, if my math is right.
Yeah, because that was February when Alexander got hurt?
I think it was April.
Was it April?
It was March or April, I thought.
I think it might have been March then.
Okay.
I think.
Because it was right around WrestleMania time.
Okay.
Because he got hurt, and then I think that was the same weekend where Mickey was hurt, so she had to vacate the women's title.
Oh, jeez.
So Macklin and Purrazzo won both titles, and they're married. But they don't. But Deanna's a babyface and Macklin's a heel, so they're not doing the pairing. They're not paired up.
Which is kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of sick of couples on wrestling.
Plus, their characters are so different. Deanna's the classy Italian, like I think the virtuosa, so she's very glittery and sparkly and all that. Then Macklin's the marine psychopath, tag him and bag him kind of stuff, so it doesn't exactly go together. I mean, in real life, obviously it does, but
exactly.
Subtract, I guess.
That's a lion and lamb relationship.
Mm-hmm. But
Macklin and Deanna better than Adam Cole and Britt Baker.
Well, it's different. It's a different dynamic. I'm inclined to think that Britt kind of wears the pants in the relationship for.
Uh-oh.
I think, did we offend Bari? He
ran away.
Perhaps technical difficulties.
He'll be back.
Don't you talk about Britt Baker.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to care. Well, speaking of AEW.
Yeah, so...
Nice segue, Mark. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So, as we know, our friend Gary Vasilio is taking some time away, but he made a point to send me a message with just 4 words today before we went on. It just said...
Wait.
Let me get Bari back in here. All right.
Okay. Can I take a guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead.
It's a work.
No.
Oh,
that's 3 words.
It is a work. I had to figure it out in my head.
I told you so.
Oh, I told you so. I knew it was coming.
Because our buddy Tony, in his infinite wisdom, finally got all the banana peels off the floor.
God, look at it. Stark Raven Maniac.
But they made it official. Punk is back, and nobody is surprised that it's going to happen in Chicago. They're saying
I didn't realize all the heat that was going on with that. I hadn't heard all the heat that was going on with that to begin with.
With Meltzer and Alvarez and the Bucks. Oh, it was a shit show.
That and Ace Steel, they were saying they were going to bring him back, but they weren't bringing him back. And
they brought him back, but they're not going to have him at TV.
Yeah.
Right. Which could be a good thing.
Eat your heart out. Oh, Mr. Electricity, Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. So
thanks, guys.
And
I love the fact he didn't say that when he did his announcement last week.
Tell me he doesn't listen to Corny. Tell me he
doesn't listen
to Corny. Yeah. Well, plenty of Cult of Cornet members are at the shows in AEW, so he's got to be getting some shit from people.
Speaking of, I got something to bring up about AEW that I noticed, and I think you guys noticed it too. There was a sign. Did anybody else see the sign about MJF fearing David Vega?
I didn't see that.
There's a sign during MJF's promo. It's Davey Vega's who they're talking about.
Well, honey, I've seen a lot of things last week on Dynamite, but that was not one of them.
I know you did. I need to go back and watch and find it.
It's MJF.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. With Shaza being a 0-1 Saturday, wonder if Davey will be there too.
Very true.
I kind of doubt it.
I doubt it, but you never know.
Okay, no. Okay, back.
We're not talking about 0-1. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Back to Tony.
Back to Florida Tony.
Back to Florida Tony.
Yeah. So finally announces Punk for Chicago. I mean, a part of me is okay with the main event they announced for the Chicago show, but I mean, as far as participants, but if that's the only match they've announced, just do 2 matches. Do a tag match and do the single. I'll take Joe and Punk all day.
They announced another one.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Because they announced Gin and Juice and Joe against Punk and FTR.
Gin, Juice, and Joe.
And Danielson and
don't say Okada. That's for Forbidden Door.
It is. That is who it is.
Forbidden Door, honey.
Oh, that's Forbidden Door.
That's not for Collision. That's for Forbidden Door.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So yeah, so that's all they've announced for Collision so far for that first show is the main event. And from what I'm hearing, Punk isn't driving the ticket sales the way that a lot of people expected him to.
He is in Chicago.
But
he's
ticket sales in Canada are the shits right now.
Yeah.
Drizzling shits.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that Ticketmaster's doing Ticketmaster things and jacking up the price to
Jesus Christ. Right.
$600 for a front row seat for a shitty Saturday afternoon TV.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass on that.
Yeah, I'll watch it from home.
I will happily go to 0-1 on Saturday instead of going to that.
I'll DVR Collision and I'll watch it probably at work on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, it's like I say this till I'm blue in the face. Live TVs are not as fun as independent house shows.
It's not.
AJ, they announced. I did hear they announced like Miro and I think Andrade and Thunder Rosa, but they haven't announced matches for him yet. This is the only thing. And I think Pockets is going to be there.
Oh God! Although
he's on the poster.
Although
they got to get that belt off of him.
They do.
Although
put it on Miro.
Beat him up with his backpack.
the Swerve and Pockets match last week wasn't terrible, but they should have went home long before they went home.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a bad match.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. Pockets can wrestle, but he does the hands in the pockets and the sloth kind of business.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, AJ, when we went to AW, it was 60 for second row. Yeah, I think it was 80 for front row because I actually ponied up the $80 for front row. But yeah, that's like $600 for Canada.
Yeah,
Toronto or Hamilton or Medicine
at a time when it's beautiful outside in Canada and people can actually get out of their houses.
But they're running in Saskatchewan, which, from what they're saying, the weather is the shits all year round in Saskatchewan, and everybody leaves town.
Yeah, so let's have a show there. You know, I'm not blaming Punk for this. I'm blaming Tony.
This is all Tony.
Tony.
The shit starts at the top.
Yep, and it rolls downhill.
Tony should have nipped this shit in the bud the second that Larry got punted across the room or whatever the hell happened to him.
It never should have went that far.
Hopefully that never didn't happen. But
the first time Punk opened his fucking mouth, he should have shut it down. But he doesn't have any balls. So, and these are all his life-size action figures, and he's living his wet dream. So what was he going to say? He was going to sit there and look stupid like he did at that media scrum. Yeah, that look right there is the look he made at that media scrum. Let you know that Tony Khan has no balls, and you can quote me on that. Ja'Bari Sin Clair said it. Tony Khan has no balls.
We got you on video. You're good.
We got you on video.
Tony doesn't do market research. He does a fat line of redacted and says, you know, that's what we do. AJ, you are not wrong, my friend. But no, that's what it is. If I hear Tony say something is a dream match one more time, I'm going to slap him.
Right?
Because, I'm sorry, Bandito and Jericho was not a dream match.
No, it's not. Anywhere. Anything with Jericho was not a dream match.
I'll give you Danielson and Okada. That could be classified as a dream match. I'll give him that. But Sting against Shawn Spears is not a dream match.
No.
And I liked Shawn Spears when he was Ty Dillinger.
Watching Jungle Boy and Hook team up is not a dream match. Like, what are you talking about?
No. Oh, and we'll get into the next, and I'm going to put this out there. The next episode we do in 2 weeks, we are going to go through the whole fucking roster of AEW. We're going to say pros and cons.
Sorry, guess who isn't on the women's roster of AEW? I laughed so hard when I went through and looked at it.
I had to fix it, but yeah,
they left somebody out.
Who they leave out?
Somebody we know.
Oh, Little Miss Belt Holder. Okay.
Little Miss Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not on the list. I was like, ooh.
No, I had to adjust it just so I don't forget things, because there were a few people that weren't on the list I had to put back on. Marina Shafir wasn't on there either.
I didn't.
You don't know me.
You don't know me. We're in your home.
My father was Pushla from Pushkaya, and my mother was Ann from the Bronx, and you don't know me. Jesus Christ. I wrestle barefoot, and I beg for change, but you don't know me. Sorry.
You're good. Okay, and who really wants to see Adam Cole versus MJF? I mean, it's fine, I guess. The promos,
for name value, it makes sense. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to say Adam Cole out-promoted MJF on Wednesday.
He did.
MJF was picking a lot of low-hanging fruit in his promo. It wasn't.
MJF's promo was the same promo every week. Let's dog the crowd out. Let's dog this person out, and then let's love me. That's his promo every week.
But it's still so damn good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but after a while, it's kind of just like, eh. You know what?
It went too long last week.
And Cole called him on it too. He said, "Hey, you're saying the same shit you said about Danielson." Basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Cole's always been a good promo as long as I can remember. So I'm not surprised that.
Very true. Very true.
It's just, and the stuff that MJF said about Cole's physique and all that stuff. It's kind of again low hanging fruit. But he's not entirely wrong. I mean,
he's not wrong.
Adam Cole benefited immensely from having the PC because he had the facilities to be in proper shape, and that's why he never got hurt.
Yeah. Dude's lost like 20 pounds since he left WWE. At least. Yeah.
All in his arms.
Yeah, and then it's shown that's why he's got shoulder problems. He got concussions. He doesn't have the cushion. And that makes me frankly concerned because I don't know, Tony's gonna just keep running him out until he can't go anymore.
AJ has a good point. NXT Adam Cole would eat AEW Adam Cole for breakfast.
Yes.
I miss NXT Adam Cole.
NXT Adam Cole I would buy as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
AEW Adam Cole not so much.
Mm-mm. But everybody wants to love him so much. They want to.
Everybody does love him. He's a likable guy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You can't just give trophies to all your little pee-wee soccer players, you know?
Nope. Right. Nope. We're no longer 6 years old. Not everybody gets a trophy. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. If Pockets worked for Bill Watts, he would not be a
he'd be fired and he'd have his ass kicked.
He put his hands in his pockets. Buck Robley would slap the piss out of him.
Right, I'm about to say, yeah, Bill Watts would knock fire from his ass, right from his face. It's what? And find him.
A match you go out of your way to watch. Adam Cole versus Marty Scurll for the TV. I actually have seen that match. It's really good. Right after Cole got kicked out of Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm.
And why is MJF going back with the When I was a kid, it's always when I was a kid. When I
That's
was
what he
a
does.
kid.
That's what he does best.
Well, it's what
That's
he
his.
did with CM Punk, and now he's doing it with Adam Cole, and I'm like, are you trying to say they're old, or what are you getting at here?
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm not sure how old Adam Cole is, but he's not that much older than MJF, is he?
I think he's like 35-ish.
AJ.
Right. Come on,
Get our
factoid.
researcher.
Right. Come on, factoid boys. Kick in.
Since we can't control his filter,
Right.
he's 33.
33. Okay, so he's not. So MJF's what? 26.
27
maybe.
27.
So he's only about 5 years. You can't play the age card when somebody's 5 years older than you.
In wrestling, you kind of can.
I don't know. It's different. It's not like when Bubba Ray called Sting a dinosaur in TNA.
Yeah.
God, that feud.
So good.
So good. The fucking power driver,
Ray,
dude.
Bully Ray, I think, is the best heel in wrestling right now.
It comes so natural to him. So natural.
Because he does not want any cheers. So he does everything he can to get booed by everyone. And
it's kind of how it's always been, though, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you watched it? Have you seen his ECW stuff?
That's the reason why they never had entrance music in ECW. He didn't want to give the fans any joy.
None.
Because when the Dudleys first started, when they were babyfaces, they used Highway to Hell, which is what Spike wound up using through his whole run. But yeah, when Devon and Bubba teamed up, they said no more music. It's just their music was the booze of the people. Bubba says.
There you go.
And what a symphony it was.
That's right. There needs to be more people that don't use music these days. Everybody has to have a big Titantron video and music and pyro. Give me somebody. Walter could get away with not having music.
He could, yeah, he could. Ciampa was so great with it. Gunta.
Yeah.
Gunta.
And then Ciampa, he was so great with his NXT heel run with no music. God, it was just golden.
Yeah. There was even a little stretch where Ziggler was going no music.
Yeah, I remember that. SmackDown. When he came back from dropping the U.S. belt.
Yeah, literally.
Yep. Yeah.
He just dropped it on the floor and walked away. Which kind of ticked me off because I like Ziggler and I wanted him to actually hold the title instead of Corbin.
Well,
neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But now Corbin might be the NXT champion before too long.
And I'd be okay with it.
What if I missed? I didn't
watch wrestling on vacation. You need to go back. Yeah, Corbin went down to NXT and messed a few things up.
He's feuding with Carmelo.
Wait. Which Corbin are we getting?
We're getting kind of basketball shorts Corbin with no knee pads.
Yeah, basketball shorts tank top.
Yeah. We're not getting happy Corbin. That's your
I don't want happy. No, those aren't the Corbins I want. I want
Lone Corbin.
Lone Wolf, exactly. Lone Wolf, red dot. This is my spot wolf.
Yes.
Right.
I want Lone Wolf back.
I love that Corbin.
Yes.
I love that Corbin. That was my favorite Corbin.
But I bet it's going to be a hell of a match because say what you want about Baron Corbin, he can work his ass off.
Yeah, he can. He's a hell of a worker.
Safest ones.
Yeah.
He's known to be one of the safest workers.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But what they've put him through with Happy Corbin and Sad Corbin, come on, writers, you've got to be better than this.
Yeah, the whole constable thing too.
Ugh.
Waiter at Applebee's.
Ugh. I will say, are we going to
For a second, I thought this had beef house show. Best house show match I ever saw was Baron Corbin versus. I think I was.
Yes, AJ. Yes. Oh my God, that match was so good. And that finish.
That was like what, 2015, 2016?
2016, and it was in Bloomington.
Was it in Bloomington? I was at that one.
Or maybe it was in Danville. I can't remember.
Might have been in Danville.
No, well, it might have been it might have been the Danville show I didn't go to. I didn't go to both of them. I went to the one in 2015.
That was Kevin Owens and John Cena, right? Yeah, we were there. We were there for that one too.
Yeah.
I was at that one too.
Wow, small world.
Oh, it wasn't Danville, AJ says. So it must have been the one after that.
It was okay at the Palmer Center.
Yeah. Okay.
Palmer Arena, yeah. The former home of the Danville Dashers, but that's the tragic tale for another time.
I think that was the one where I got pictures with Enzo.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because they were in the opening match.
Enzo and Cass. Yep.
Yep.
Oh wow. Oh, I'm not a fan of Enzo.
Up close and real personal with Becky Lynch too. That was a little disturbing.
Who did?
I did.
Oh,
we
really?
we were on the entry ramp, on like right next to the entry ramp for that show, like 4 rows back, and there was a chair that right there, and she stood up and she was like right here, and I couldn't
Oh, pie
get
in the
away.
face?
Yeah, I couldn't get out of the way. It was bad. Wait, was that
It's
the
like
one,
when
Mari, that you guys got in trouble for your sheet masks?
Oh yeah. AJ can tell that story better than I can, but yeah, them old ladies were mad at us.
AJ, when Kevin Owens went through 2 tables and took an AA onto a stack of chairs the night before Battleground. Because I think the year before that, the one in 15, it was like before. That was before Battleground. It was like the same, like almost a year to the day.
Yep.
Because on the pay-per-view, Owens wrestled Cena in a street fight, and they did the match the night before. Probably getting some stuff worked out, I would imagine.
Yeah, because that next year it was Rollins and Lesnar. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one when Taker popped back up.
Yep.
Was Maine that night, Bray?
No, that was the second one because it was Bray and Luke Harper.
Okay. Because Bray
Was it Bray and Big Show?
Because Bray forgot his lantern.
Yeah.
They went to Home Depot and they were out of them.
He just had his cell phone with the flashlight.
It basically.
Oh man.
Good times.
Well, so we talked about Collision about all we can because we don't know any of the fucking matches on it.
Because AEW likes to wait till 2 days before to announce what's happening.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks, guys.
Let me ask you this. So we got
Bray and
Forbidden
Big
Door
Show.
coming up.
That was it.
Okay. So Forbidden Door's coming, and I actually liked Forbidden Door last year because I liked the mix-up. You had some fresh matches in there, you know, New Japan guys, AEW guys. We already know we got Okada and Danielson, and I've got to think that's going to be the main event. It kind of has to, just for star power.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who's going to be is it going to be Cole and MJF for the title at Forbidden Door?
Isn't that kind of what they said?
Is that what they said? I didn't.
I thought that's what they said Wednesday, that Cole had talked his way into getting MJF to agree to it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he played his punk card masterfully on that promo. I just couldn't remember if they said it was going to be All Out or Forbidden Door. But Forbidden Door sounds right.
Forbidden Door sounds right.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, and I think G1's going on after Forbidden Door, if I'm not mistaken, which makes me wonder who's going to be coming over to the States for AEW before going back and doing a month-long tournament. So if you had to pick a match, what do you want to see at Forbidden Door? If you had to put a New Japan guy with an AEW guy, or woman, you never know.
I don't know enough of the New Japan people to say, honestly.
Ooh, you know what I'd like to see if both competitors were healthy and ready to go. I'd like to see old Monet versus Saraya once again.
Oh, not a bad idea. I don't know if Mercedes is going to be healthy.
I don't think that foot's going to be ready, but I would love to see that.
That could be something for Wembley though.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know. It's easy to say you want to see Tanahashi against somebody. I don't know who it would be because we've seen him with Moxley, we've seen him with Jericho. I'm kind of at a loss. Maybe have Tanahashi against Pockets for the International Championship. I mean, they're busy. Tony's ruined all of his guys. Why not ruin a New Japan guy with Pockets?
Only if Tanahashi is gonna win. Like, don't job him out like that to freaking Pockets.
If they're gonna job somebody out to Pockets, I say Toriano.
Yeah.
Because at least he'll have fun with it.
Or Ishii, whatever his name is, the guy who didn't take any bumps.
Ishii.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the walking fire hydrant. Love that guy.
Exactly.
Well, you know you're going to have Shibata there because he's the ROH Pure Champion.
I was reading AJ's quote.
Right. Hell, let Shibata and Yuta run it back one more time. They didn't do too bad.
I kind of want to see Shibata with somebody like, not Moxley. Just I would fear for Shibata's safety with Moxley. Give me like Shibata with Claudio.
I was just getting ready to say that. Put him in there with Claudio, title for title. Let him go.
Well, actually, you know what? After Rampage a couple weeks ago, Shibata beat Moriarty, which was a really good match, by the way. I like Moriarty. I don't like what they're doing with him. But they had a stare down afterwards, Shibata and Garcia, which I'm thinking is where they're going to go with the Pure title. So maybe that's what we get for Forbidden Door.
Okay, I'd be okay with that too.
Okay, AJ has suggested his match.
For a match between the young dudes, let me get Bone Soldier versus Darby Allin. I don't know if number one, Ishimori, I think is hurt. But he's also not necessarily a young dude. He's been around for a long time. But no, Ishimori and Darby would be a hell of a match. I would say, I'm going to go one better. I'm going to say Darby and Hiromu Takahashi. Make it a junior heavyweight championship match. You know, Darby's a junior. He's clearly a cruiserweight. And Hiromu can do some of the crazy stuff. He works a little smarter now than he did before he broke his neck. But then I think not the promos, but the interaction would be very interesting between those two in the ring.
Does Will Ospreay qualify?
Yeah, I think he's got Omega. I think.
Yeah, it's him and Omega.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one they announced for Forbidden Door is Omega and Ospreay.
Yeah, because
it was either Forbidden Door or Wembley.
I'm kind of looking forward to that one.
The first match I had was really good, actually. The one at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that one.
I see Ospreay getting his win back though.
Yeah, I like Will Ospreay. He's a grown ass man and he hits like one. So yeah.
And he's working so much smarter now than he did when he was just a high flying junior.
With Ricochet?
With Ricochet. And I enjoyed that for what it was.
For what it was, I was actually okay with
Vader wasn't a fan.
Lots of people weren't fans, but
no, I don't think Corny was a fan either.
No.
Have we heard what Corny thought of the opening sequence between Drogistico Commander and Vikingo on Rampage?
He doesn't watch Rampage.
I just want to see him watch that like 2 minutes because it's just a lot of jump overs and leapfrogs and things.
He'd hate all of it.
He would turn it off immediately.
AJ, FTR versus Cobb and Okan. I'd be fine with that. That'd be a hell of a match, I think. I am a big Jeff Cobb fan. And then, of course, Okan, the great Okan, all hail, he's really good too. I'm trying to think what they're going to do with Sonata. He's their champ right now. He's the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So I don't know who they would put him with if he's one of the ones. I would imagine they'd bring him over.
How many multi-man matches are we going to have during this?
Well,
at least 3.
New Japan loves their multi-man matches, so I'm going to guess 3 6-mans, 2 8-mans, and some clusterfuck battle royal thing, maybe. AJ says Sonata versus MJF. Who? Maybe, but I don't know who takes the loss in that. You want to keep. There's going to be a lot of politics in the booking on this show, probably.
There's got to be because you got to keep.
You got to keep Gato and Tony. They got to keep your champion strong.
Yep.
Also, this out there, Bari, tell me what you think of this. MJF against Shingo.
Okay. It could work, and I'd watch it.
Shingo is one of my favorite guys, going back to when he was in Dragon Gate. And I would love to see him against somebody like the caliber of like an MJF. I'm racking my brain about Sonata. You put him with Moxley? I mean, I know.
Moxley's got to be on the show somewhere, because...
Never mind. I figured it out. Sonata versus Archer for the title.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Lance Archer needs to be a main eventer somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. A man that big and that talented just sitting around, it doesn't sit right.
No. And I don't think it's him.
No, it's not him.
I like Lance Archer.
You watch his stuff in Japan, he's a Brody kind of heel in Japan right now. Like
I like Archer. Archer yeeted somebody out of a ring, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
When he comes to the ring, he's going through the crowd like Stan Hansen or Brody would, just
nice,
staring the shit out of people.
Good. He's a lot better than freaking AEW books him for. Right. I mean, doesn't book him for.
Nobody has ever booked him properly except for New Japan, and that was when he was with the Killer Elite Squad with Harry Smith. Because WWF shit the bed with him. WWE when he was Vance Archer.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It was for a cup of coffee. Impact, I don't think ever knew what they had with him when he was Lance Hoyt.
Yeah, when he had the whole rock and rave connection, like, yeah, he was great doing that, but he could have did so much better.
Yeah. I liked him when he was teaming with Kid Cash, though, early in TNA, like 04.
Ooh.
But, let's see. Oh, Mox could be on the show in one of the random six-man tags, BCC versus Bullet Club. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it'd be all heels, but yeah, I could see it. Tramp stamp Hody. I need a translation here. Hoyt. Oh yeah, the tramp stamp. That bothered me for years. He had that bird tramp stamp on his lower back. Nowadays he's got more stuff on his back, so it doesn't look as glaring. But yeah, he had a tramp stamp for years, and it's always bothered me. But that doesn't take away from the work. And as good as he was then, when he put more size on, and then went to Japan and did the stuff with Suzuki Gun, that's when he really broke out to me.
Did we have anything interesting happen on Raw last night?
Well, Rhea got her new belt, which is pretty sharp.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. The fans pissed me off.
I saw that. I heard they made you mad last night.
Yeah, Finn's cutting a hell of a promo on Seth, and the fans won't shut the fuck up with the damn song, trying to drown him out. And they're trying to build an actual story that makes sense, and the fans are hijacking the whole fucking thing. It drove me nuts. Because Finn cut a good promo. Seth cut a good promo.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And Finn was trying to.
And they made it a match that I am interested to see.
Yeah. I was excited to see that Damian Priest is up for Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Which makes me, in my head, that makes me want to see Finn win the title and then Priest win the briefcase and then see what happens.
Ooh.
They were kind of sowing the seeds a little bit last night with the little dissension in the Judgment Day.
Summer of Sinners. All right.
Yeah. And they were also kind of building up a little bit with Devlin, talking with Priest, with Finn in the back. So,
I truly think that's the next move right there for Judgment Day is going to be Devlin or McDonough.
McDonough. He'll always be Jordan Devlin to me, though. The
Irish he'll always be Jordan Devlin to me.
Exactly, same here.
Man,
kind of like I still can't call Pete Dunne Butch.
Yeah, it's poor Pete. I'm getting better at calling Gunther Gunther instead of.
It doesn't bother me now as much as it used to.
No, that's because it came out of nowhere. In the middle of a match, he says, "Nein, my name is Gunther."
No, it's not. It's Walter. Shut up.
Shut up, Walt. Didn't you get? I think it was somebody commented on the Cornet page. They were asking about everybody changing their name because the topic came up with Casey Catanzaro getting a new name, even though she was like famous from doing Ninja Warrior, and Brian Last couldn't figure out why. Somebody said that I guess there'd been a company-wide edict that nobody can use their indie names in the company anymore, which I think they said that years ago, and that's the only thing I could think of that makes sense.
But I would have said, it's my fucking name. What do you mean?
Yeah.
This is my birth name. It's not an indie name.
Chad Gable's match got cut down to 2 minutes before people sang too damn long. Yeah, that's true. Hijack. I hate hijacking.
Yeah.
Come on, don't get yourself over with the crowd. It was in my 10 Commandments, wasn't it?
It was.
Go
Sit
back
down,
into the archives,
shut up.
find the episode where I do the 10 Commandments of wrestling fans, and that's in there.
It is.
It was more aimed at Jericho fans at the time, but it works for Rollins.
It does.
Getting me all worked up here. The main event was really good last night, if you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't.
Gunther and Kaiser Wilhelm, or Ludwig Kaiser against Steen and Owens, or Steen and Zayn.
Okay.
Owens and Zayn.
You're going to get it right there eventually?
I'll get it right eventually. But yeah, that was a really good match.
That actually sounds like a really good match.
Yeah. I like the Cody Dominic thing going on right now.
Yeah, me too.
It just makes sense. You know, you got the most popular babyface against the guy that people hate the most. Just put them in a match together, you know. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I think the assumption is Brock's going to do something to fuck over Cody. But I don't know if he goes to England. I don't know if he wants to go to England.
I was going to say, I don't think he'll go.
I mean, well, if he gets paid enough.
Well, yeah, if you pay him enough, he'll go. But that's the problem. Well, how many more days does he have left on his... How many more days this year can he be used?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track. It's not my day to watch him. He's been doing a lot of TVs.
He has been doing a lot of TVs, which makes me think he won't be doing a lot of their traveling.
Right. Maybe he's taking a break till SummerSlam. And
I would say he'll be back for SummerSlam and probably Survivor Series.
Probably, yeah. As long as he doesn't get designs on one of those shiny new belts.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think Cody and Brock, they're going to have their blow off. I'm guessing SummerSlam. It's got to be some sort of a gimmick match, right?
It's going to have to be.
They had the straight up match. They had I think it was just 2 straight up wrestling matches. They didn't have a stipulation on those.
They didn't have a stipulation on it. He just had the cast or brace or whatever you want to call it.
All right. So if you have to pick a stipulation for this match, what are you going with? Minderz, you first.
Texas Bull Rope. Sorry, AJ.
Bari, what do you think?
No doubt it'll be a Texas Bull Rope match. No doubt.
See, I'm with you. I say Bull Rope because you can do the thing where Brock can jump Cody before the bell, then put the rope on his bad arm, and then really make that part of the story, you know. And I go Bull Rope matches. Dusty and Superstar in the 70s.
That was also in the 70s.
I'm going to tell you what Bull Rope not to watch now, though. Luger and Hansen.
Yeah, Lex Luger, Stan Hansen. We talked about that on Gold Rush on Friday.
And I went back and I watched it Friday night, and I was like, "Oh, I see my Rams hit. Don't watch this."
I put Starrcade 90 on. I think the day like Saturday, and literally fell asleep halfway through. I was tired though, so I actually slept through the Bull Rope match, and I woke up right as the Wax Scorpion was coming out.
Wow.
Yeah, those late 80s, early 90s Starrcades were questionable. I like the Battle Bowl concept. But But those
that was cool.
The Iron Man tournament, the Pat O'Connor tag team tournament.
That tag team tournament is kind of drug on there.
Yeah. That damn Jim Herd. So I think it's time to move on. Minderz, I gave you the task of figuring out who's going to go into the Hall of Fame. So let's get into that real quick. Hang on, please. All right, so Hall of Fame, here we got it there. And Minderz, you told me ahead of time, so I got the graphic all set up. So why don't you go ahead and say who it is?
Well, my inductee that I decided, which, Mark, were you a little surprised? I'm just curious.
A little, but I didn't hate the choice. It was a good choice.
Bari has no clue. I haven't told him, so he really doesn't know. My choice was the British Bulldogs.
Okay, all right.
Davey Boy and Dynamite.
Yes.
You got to. Dynamite, he was a dick in real life, but he was so good.
He really was. And I don't think Davey Boy ever got his due until he went single for how good he was also.
No. But I thought, what's the way I can get two of my favorites into our Hall of Fame?
Well, three.
Well, three. Yes, three. There's three. Because you can't forget Miss Matilda.
Look at that. Look at that pun.
Matilda.
Miss Matilda, and in later years, Winston, but that's neither here nor there.
Winston was Davy's mascot when he came back as a single.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matilda. Oh, I loved Matilda when I was a kid. I tried to get my dad to let me get the plush Matilda out of the magazine, but it didn't happen.
I tried too. But yeah, I mean, you go back and you think, but when Dynamite, if you didn't have Dynamite, you don't have Eddie Guerrero. You don't have, or you may, but you don't have the style.
Right,
you know,
right.
you're not going to have like Jushin Thunder Liger. You're not going to have, because he brought over so much of that from the New Japan style.
Well, Benoit pillaged his style mercilessly.
Oh, yes.
He was almost like a carbon copy of Dynamite when he was coming up.
Very
to
much
his own detriment.
Yeah.
Because he too did not learn how to protect himself on a headbutt.
No. And hey, AJ's right. Dynamite was ahead of his time. If he came around 10 years later, he would have won way more belts than he did. I agree.
He would have been a 5 or 6 time Intercontinental Champion if he would have come over 10 years later.
Yeah. But because I went, yeah.
Look at these guys.
Man. Both just jacked to the gills.
Oh, yeah. And when they came to Stampede, they were just skinny little kids from England. And they put I would say they put the work in, but what's the word you use, Bari? Recreational goodies? Is that it?
Oh, yeah. Them and their use of recreational goodies. The juice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Billington Bulldogs doing him proud today, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Look at those guys, though.
I believe that's the Stampede Tag Team Championships.
That looks like their belt. Yeah, that looks like their belts.
No way in the world they both 5'4" and that jacked.
And that's what they always said. Dynamite had the physique of a 250-pound man and a 170-pound body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they were a bargaining chip too. When Vince bought Stampede from Stu, the condition was that he had to hire the Bulldogs, Brett, and Anvil, and bring them into New York if Stu was going to approve of the deal, because he wanted those guys taken care of.
Yeah.
And that was in '84, and they just were off to the races when they came in. I mean, look at these guys. They go around there with our foundation for a good 2 years, pretty much, feud-wise.
Heart Foundation in a Dream Team.
Oh, the Dream Team. Oh, well, look at this guy. Captain Lou is our manager. I don't think the Bulldogs knew what they had coming.
No, not at all.
They had no clue.
Yeah. Imagine if he would have managed the Iron Sheik.
Oh, Lord. No, I'm good.
It could have happened. It could have happened when Lou was the heel manager in the early '80s, but
it really could have. Yeah. Those promos, you would have not been able to understand a word from them.
Right.
Either one of them. At least with Freddie Blassie, you could understand some of the Sheiky stuff.
Ayatollah Blassie. Should we mention WrestleMania 2, Minderz?
Yes.
So you mentioned the Dream Team. My favorite match off WrestleMania 2 was that tag team title match.
It's a really good match. Look at Ozzy.
Ozzy does not have a clue where he is in this picture.
Rock and roll forever, British Bulldogs forever.
Yeah, when he came to the ring, you could tell he was in La La Land.
Blasted.
High as a kite.
Blasted.
He was so high, he let Sharon put him in a pink suit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And for some reason, he came to the ring holding a microphone, but he never used it because he, again, didn't know where he was.
He had no clue.
He just yelled rock and roll and British Bulldogs forever.
I watched when I was kind of looking at some of this stuff. I watched actually Valentine and Beefcake talking about that match,
Yeah.
and I think it was Hammer. He said something about he got thrown into the ropes or something, and then he just got knocked out with the bicep of
he ran in-
Dynamite, like
He ran into
completely.
Dynamite. Just ran in, I think they said they hit heads. but
No,
I
that
don't
was
know.
Mick. It was Mick Foley. It was in a match with Mick. Mick
Foley's
jaw.
an enhancement talent,
Yeah,
and Dynamite hit him with that hook and running clothesline, and broke his jaw.
yeah. And he had 3 weeks of of only soft food. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Good lord.
The first of many debilitating injuries in Mick Foley's storied career.
But I know that Greg the Hammer and Beefcake both were saying just how good, even though they were green, just how good they were.
Yeah, because they were only in the business 6 or 7 years, weren't they? By that time,
It wasn't very long.
because I think they started like 81 or 82, so that would be more like 5 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, they came in as a unit, and everything they did, they had the Wrestling Classic in Chicago when they were both in the tournament, like in singles. Dynamite went pretty far. He lost to Savage in the semifinals. Davey got hurt in the first match with Steamboat, but aside from that, they really didn't do a lot of singles. It was mostly them as a team.
Yep.
And there you see. We'll cover these belts someday, Bari. The
Bulldogs, yeah.
Bulldog belts.
Yes, yes.
There's one thing that always bothered me is they often did not wear matching tights when they were
Yeah,
teaming
no,
up.
they didn't.
I mean, I know they were the same style, but come on.
Yeah.
You gotta.
The
you
knee
gotta
pads are in the wrong places on both of them.
Well, Davey always had his knee pads low for some reason. Like even later on when he had the boots with the tassels, his knee pads were always on the shins like Flair would have.
Yep.
But Bulldog had bigger legs than Flair, so it looked better. It didn't just look like Flair's knee pads weren't small enough to fit his knees, and they just slid down. One thing you can always say about the Bulldog, I loved their entrance attire. They always were styling.
They were.
Look at that. With like glittery Def Leppard shirts, the capes.
Did you know in those capes they actually had each of their names embroidered in the collar of them?
So they wouldn't lose track of whose was which?
Yep. Because on Dynamite's it said Kid in it.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, because Bulldog's, I always call him Bulldog, Davey Boy. His neck was so much bigger than Dynamite's.
Yeah.
It could have been uncomfortable.
I kind of feel bad for Matilda, though, having to travel around with those guys.
Yeah, I imagine she probably got stowed in a lot of cargo bins on airplanes.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
And a Bulldog.
This is a nice. Look at that picture. Look, isn't that nice? Now, I wonder whose dog she was. I think she might have been Davey's dog.
I think she was Davey's dog.
Because Davey's usually the one that was holding the leash when they would come to the ring.
And I don't really see Dynamite being the one to take care of an animal.
No, he barely took care of himself.
Right.
But,
maniac.
But look at this.
I remember that.
Poor Jimmy. I'll tell you what, Matilda could work when she wanted to, but sometimes she didn't care.
Yeah, sometimes she didn't care.
WrestleMania 4, I think she was out to lunch when she was supposed to chase Bobby up the ramp. But
yeah, and Davey took her and threw her on him.
And then she started like humping him. But,
oh, Lord.
I think it might be this match. There was one where Matilda like chased Jimmy Hart and then like bit the megaphone.
I think it might.
I think it was this match. This looks like it was the 2 out of 3 falls on main event.
Yeah. Because that's Heart Foundation in the back, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our foundation, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also Bulldogs with the red under tights with the Union Jack, which is my favorite. It's my favorite Bulldogs color combo. Says the gear mark in me.
Jeez.
She still got treated way better than Jake Snake. That's not wrong.
That's not wrong.
Someday we'll tell the story that we heard from DDP about when Jake left for 2 weeks and left the Cobra in Paige's bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I understand, Kimberly Page was not happy with Jake about
that.
Not happy at all.
Not happy at all.
Oh, hey, we got a message from our buddy, the
Gary!
Bearded Dragon, Gary Vestelio. Be back as soon as I can. Also, I was right. I gave you your props, Gary. I told him you said I told you so.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully we get you back real soon, Gary. But you take care of business, like I know you will. We've had talks about Dynamite before. Me and Gary. Kid, not AEW.
Well, technically we have AEW too, but whatever.
Yeah. Look at that.
I wanted that shirt so bad
shirt.
when I was.
I
love
think
that
shirt. Might be on Pro Wrestling. This shirt might be on Pro Wrestling Tees right now.
Is it? Because I remember trying to order. I tried to talk my parents into ordering it out of the WWF magazine thing.
I remember when they would put it on. Matilda would wear that shirt.
Mm-hmm. They had a little Matilda shirt. It was great.
All right. Yes, I am looking. When it's time to pay the bills, I got to show off the new shirt. By the way.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so Bulldogs were my pick for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay, that shirt is not on Pro Wrestling Tees. There is a Bulldogs shirt, but it's like a red T-shirt.
Oh. No, I want that one. I wanted that one back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one in the Strike Force shirt.
Yeah. Because I like the white one with the red.
With the ringer with the lightning bolt.
Yep. Yeah.
There's several Tito Santana shirts on PWTs that I'm going to be getting at some point. But talking about the Bulldogs, let's talk about after the Bulldogs, because Davey Boy, as good as the Bulldogs were, we got to talk a little bit about him and Owen.
Yeah.
They were teaming up in the 90s. This was probably my favorite tag team in the Attitude Era before the Dudleys got there.
I could see that.
Camp Cornet's own.
Yeah, I don't put them on the same level as the Bulldogs just because these guys didn't do a whole lot of double teams. You know, like the Bulldogs had so many cool double team finishers that they would do. They didn't really do that in this team. It was always either the power slam or the sharpshooter was the finish.
The Bulldogs were a tag team specialist, in my opinion.
True. Oh, I agree.
They knew how to use it. They knew how to use the count. They knew how to use a tag rope. Oh my god! They knew how to
use each other as weapons.
Exactly. But man, when they lost the belts, though.
Dynamite was damn near crippled then.
Yeah, he was. Because didn't Davey carry him to the ring?
Davey carried him to the ring, then they knocked him off the apron so he could just spend the whole match on the floor and not get in. And then
Jimmy hit him with the megaphone.
Yeah. And then they used the megaphone in the finish too, and that crooked referee Danny Davis was.
That was the birth of Danny Davis. Yes, it was.
Yep. But yeah, and then there was also a few tag title matches during that run when Dynamite was hurt. The Tito was actually filling in as Davey's partner, which is what led to the tag match at WrestleMania, the 6-man. It was the Bulldogs and Tito against.
Makes sense now. Yeah, it makes sense now.
So, we got to talk about some of the young teams because there was a few teams that were influenced by the Bulldogs too. Number one, obviously the Stampede Bulldogs.
Yep.
T.J. Wilson, Harry Smith. T.J. is Tyson Kidd now.
I was going to say that's Natalia. Tyson.
Yeah. And then Harry, David Hart Smith.
It's D.H.
D.H. Smith. Man, he's a stud now. I don't know how much you watched him in MLW. He's jacked to the gills. He can work. He's probably one of the better. He's had a run, Minderz, with Alex Kane in MLW.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love me some Alex Kane.
Yeah. And then, of course, he's doing the new Dungeon Wrestling that's up in Calgary now.
I need to get started watching that.
You should. It's good stuff. Another team that kind of took a lot from the Bulldogs, the American Wolves, Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
wow.
right down to their names, a tribute to the British Bulldogs, and they had similar look. They did the double teams like the Bulldogs would do. I love that tag team. in Ring of Honor. They were so good. Stuff they did with the Briscoes. Of course, I can always come back to the Briscoes.
I would say you always go back to the Briscoes when you talk Ring of Honor. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody more synonymous with Ring of Honor than the Briscoe brothers, and they work with everybody.
Yeah.
But the Wolves, for about 2 or 3 years, were arguably the best tag team in the country, like across all the indies, all the major companies, and everything. Because it was pre-Usos, like the Usos weren't up in WWE yet when they were a thing. So it was
were they in NXT though? They might have been in
Florida. They were in FCW.
They were in Florida. FCW.
FCW.
Yeah. There were no real special tag teams I can think off the top of my head in WWE. Then it was a lot of thrown together teams.
A lot of thrown, yeah.
Impact had like Beer Money, Machine Guns, obviously, to be thought about. But the Wolves were just crazy good as a team, and it was fresh because Eddie was kind of languishing when they put him with Davey, because Davey was already made there.
Yeah.
But then they put Eddie with him. So they're one to talk about, and then of course the obvious one. There you see the Billington Bulldogs. They're working MLW. They also work in Dungeon Wrestling. The kid in the front, I forget which. I think it's Thomas. I can't keep. One of them's Thomas. One of them's Mark. But Thomas, I believe, is the one.
He looks like a Thomas. The one in the back looks like a Mark.
Hey. But no, Thomas is the spitting image of Dynamite. These guys are both nephews of Dynamite Kid. But Thomas is the one. He looks, moves, and works like Dynamite, but safer.
Shaped like him too.
Yeah.
We don't need another one of those guys with CTE. Come on now.
No. When I first saw Thomas Billington, he didn't quite have the size when I saw the older video. He looked just like Dynamite did when on early Stampede Dynamite from the early 80s. Oh, AJ says, give me American Wolves versus FTR. I'd be down for that.
Take my money.
Right?
Oh.
But Minderz, you made a fine choice for the Hall of Fame this week with the British Bulldogs. I think they're more than deserving here. So very nice. I
was kind of thinking you would probably say I would say somebody else, but eventually.
I didn't think you were going to say Jimmy Carrot.
No, not for this show. If we're talking 0-1, maybe. If we're talking 0-1, maybe.
Yeah, when are we going to start a 0-1? Are we going to start a 0-1 Hall of Fame on the show?
I would love to, and I already have the first inductee. And it's
not
Jimmy Carrot. It's not Jimmy Carrot.
Is it Bear?
Nope.
Is it HD? Are those his initials?
Ha! Good pick.
That would be my first one.
I would have to defer quite a bit to you guys if we're going to do a 0-1 Hall of Fame on the shootout, because you know the product way better than I do in 0-1. I'm still kind of a noob, as much as I've been enjoying it.
I was going to say, and we've smartened you up a little bit.
I've learned quite a bit in just a little under a year.
You have. Very proud of you. But this is not the 0-1 show, so let's get back to
This is very true. Hey, we've jumped the rails.
No.
Oh, AJ.
Nope.
If y'all start a local independent wrestling Hall of Fame, put Shank Barzini forward as the first inductee. We have to put Marvin's finger on display too.
Shank will be one of the first if we do a 0-1 Hall of Fame, but I'm gonna fight for the one that I want.
Okay, well that's for another time, Minderz.
Yep.
We're running a little long, but that's all right. We're doing good. We got one more order of business before we say goodbye this week, and that is right. All right, Top 10 Tuesday. I'm very nervous that I've actually done this category already, but I don't think I have.
Probably should be.
If not, my opinions change week to week anyway, so you never know. But for Top 10 Tuesday this week, our topic, kind of fitting considering what we talked about for most of the show, greatest foreign heels. I tried to avoid North American nationalities.
Because I looked. Okay, so I went and I started to look to see like what different ones were, and some of the ones they had, I was like, no, that's only Canada. You
like
can't
Jericho,
count that.
Edge, Hitman,
Jericho,
like
Edge, yeah. I was like, no,
Mad Dog
no,
Vachon.
no. Huh?
Mad Dog could
Vachon.
have made it. Mad Dog Vachon could have made it on there because he was terrifying.
There is one, and I think I'm going to keep it as an honorable mention that I came up with, but we'll see if you put them on there first.
All right. Well, let's do like what we did last time, Minderz. We'll each go like back.
Oh,
and
I
forth.
don't have a top 10. I didn't make.
Oh, you
a
don't
list.
have. You don't have a list. Oh,
I didn't make a list.
Not prepared, eh?
Nope.
Okay.
Hey, it was hard enough for me to do enough research about the Bulldogs. Give me a break.
Okay, fair enough.
That's all right. Right. We'll just add into what Mark has. It'll be okay.
Exactly.
All right. All right. So we'll start with number 10 because that's a good place to start on the top 10 list.
Yep.
From the jungles of Uganda. The mighty
my
Kamala,
personal favorite.
The Ugandan headhunter.
I'm telling you, next year at the expo, Bari, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I have the hat. If I get a mask, I could be Kimchi.
That would be awesome.
Damn right, be my Kimchi.
So I have to wear pink and be Freddie Blassie? Wait a minute.
Oh, right. Or you could be Harvey Whippleman. It's your choice.
There you go. Or Slick.
So I could be Slick.
Yeah, or Slick.
I could be Slick.
Because I have
least
the
he was
crocodile
well-dressed.
hunter costume, like the khaki shirt, khaki shorts, and the hat. All I need is the mask, and you got a Kimchi right there.
You could probably get the mask at the expo.
Or if I go to another Iron Spirit Pro show.
Yeah, that's true too.
So AJ just messaged our private chat with his list for the 01 Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I see it. And I'm going to argue with a couple of them. That's all right, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we're getting off track.
Let's go to our top 10
Kamala,
list. We got out. Kamala.
Kamala scared the piss out of me when I was a kid. When I was about 5 years old when I first saw him. Because I thought he was going to eat his opponent.
Well, he ate that damn chicken on Tuesday Night Titans.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm a farm boy from Muncie. I'd never seen a Ugandan headhunter before.
Exactly.
Big spear around. Just
every time I see him, I'm just like, Sugar Bear.
James
Sugar Bear Harris.
Hey, we talked about Jerry Lawler painting the Ayatollah on the flag. He's the one that did Kamala's belly paint, and the big wooden mask was Jerry Jarrett's house.
Yep.
Because they filmed in his on his land.
On his land, on his property, yeah. And what did Kamala say to Jerry Lawler? Jerry, why are you painting a banana on my belly?
Oh, Sugar Bear. And then he wound up going to great success as the vice president of the United States.
Yes. Kamala, yes.
I mean, his name is James Harris. It's Kamala Harris.
Right.
I cannot have discussions these days because I go to Kamala instead of Kamala.
Damn right.
It's out of reflex. So I feel kind of bad putting Kamala this low on the list. It's kind of a number one in everyone else in this case, though. Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you what my number one is, but I'm going to guess you can probably figure it out.
I'm pretty sure I know what number one is. It's probably the same one I would have put. So
probably number 9, the Great Kabuki from the Land of the Rising Sun. I got several Japanese heels on here, but I believe the first guy to blow the mist in the United States, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think it was.
My first exposure to Kabuki would be his world class stuff.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw in hindsight when I got the network watching the first Starrcade, in Kabuki wrestled Charlie Brown from Out of Town.
Yeah, yep.
For the TV title, and but then the first exposure I had of him was in WWF in '94 when he was with Fuji. Like during
Fuji, right. He was one of the 400 that jumped Taker in the casket match.
So I saw Kabuki when he was kind of out of shape and not the Kabuki of of lore, you know. So going back and watching the world class stuff and the stuff from the Crockett's, it's very entertaining to me. It's cool watching him now. Like he'll do appearances with like Tajiri and Muda where they'll all blow the mist like together and like make a three-colored like cloud, and it just looks really cool when they do that. But no, he was one of those feared Japanese heels because he poisoned you with the toxic mist in the eyes and all that stuff. Just good stuff. Uh, Number 8, sticking with Japan. This guy I came to late. The Black Ninja Kendo Nagasaki.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah, I've never seen him do anything, but yeah, I've heard of this guy.
I saw his stuff in Mid-South, 83-ish, when he came in. He was feuding with like the Junkyard Dog, but he was like the dastardly heel. He would like do like a Japanese choke for a finish. He always carried the kendo stick with him. He wore like a fencing mask over his face, but he had it painted like this. Not a great haircut, but that's
I was gonna say the hair is killing me right now.
Most of these heels I've picked are not handsome men.
That's the reason they were heels.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to boo the pretty ones.
Exactly.
Now the funny thing is, I got this kendo was the one I picked for number 8, but he was not the first Kendo Nagasaki. Because there was a Kendo Nagasaki in England.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear
Oh,
Lord.
boy.
The guy on the left, by the way, is Kendo Nagasaki.
The one with no face. Got it.
But yeah, I forget the guy's real name, but he was a great British wrestler. And
I say he
they gave him
doesn't
the
look
Kendo
Japanese.
Nagasaki name. No, that's the thing.
He
He's
looks
not.
like
He's British.
He's dressed like a hot water bottle.
Yes, like a hot water bottle.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but no, this kendo is the one that I became a fan of. And I think these two might have. I don't know if these two ever had a match with each other before. If Kendo 1 ever teamed up with Kendo 2.
So one person yells, "Let's go Kendo." The other one says, "Let's." Oh, good Lord.
Are you all right?
The Nagasaki's.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
The
Can
guy
only
in
take
this
so
picture.
much.
Stop! It's making me laugh.
How big is that nose? Seriously, how big is his nose?
Because I keep seeing hot water bottle.
The guy in the tux looks like Sir William Barry.
Yeah, he does. Oh dear, I have to manage this here.
The funny thing is, and Sir William was Australian, not British, but they made him British,
exactly
like an English butler. All right, so I won't show you Kendo, British Kendo anymore, just to save you from laughing riotously. All right, number 7. There he is.
Okay.
Nikolai Volkov.
320-pound Lithuanian.
I might have had him a little higher. Nikolai was one of my favorites, but that was when I was, 5, 6, 7, that age. So.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I came to know Nikolai originally from the cartoon.
Yeah.
And it was just silly. But then I saw him, like the tail end of his run with Sheik, then into the Bolsheviks. So I didn't see his really great run like in the late 70s, and like he sold out the Garden with Bruno in like 76, I think. Then he went to like Mid-South and did the Russian character. So that was like his really hot run as a heel. But then just bringing the national anthem and singing before the matches, instant heat back then. And
talk about getting booed out of the building, man.
Oh, I know. I can probably count on one hand how many times he sang that anthem to completion without getting interrupted by something.
Yeah.
Whether it was Anvil sneak attacking or somebody's entrance. I love Nikolai, though. One of my favorites. All right, number 5. 5?
6. Nikolai was 7.
Yeah. Okay, so number 6. Thank you, Minderz.
Yep.
All right, going to Memphis for this one here.
Okay.
Tojo Yamamoto.
Oh, how many stereotypes can we put into one gimmick?
It's the whole thing. He's Buddha.
Great wrestler. He came to the ring with the wooden sandals on, carrying the big stick with him. I don't have any of his promos loaded up, but his vocal delivery was very like James Bond in the torture chamber kind of delivery. Very, and he is Japanese, so it's not like he's being racist or anything. I would never accuse him of it, but very cheesy and over the top. And then he wound up actually being one of the bigger baby faces in Memphis when he did his babyface turn in the later 80s, I think it was. And then he wound up being a heel manager for a while. And but one of the biggest draws in Memphis as a heel. Did a lot of feuding with Lawler. You hearing voices, Barry?
No, my brother just walked past.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, I don't know how much of Tojo you'd seen and how much Memphis stuff you watched, Barry. This is where Keith Gibson was come in handy because he probably can tell you all about Tojo.
I know, right? What I know from Tojo is from the stories I've heard from Corny. That's about it.
I have to wonder if Jerry Jarrett came up with the name, because if that's not a stereotype name, I don't know what is.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's just like calling me Pickaninny the boy. So.
Wait, hang on. What now?
That's like calling me Pickaninny the boy. So. Let's not do that.
You said it, not me.
Yeah.
Like some of those awful things Freddie Blassie said about Mil Mascaris in that first promo we watched.
Yeah.
I may have to put a disclaimer on this episode when I drop it on the pod. Do not quote Freddie Blassie off this episode when you're speaking in general conversation.
Please don't.
All right. So number 5, sticking with the Japanese here.
Foods.
Master Fuji.
Foods.
I love Fuji.
Not only
he's the reason why I carry a packet of salt in my pocket right now.
My goodness. Where do you begin with Fuji?
See, now Fuji to me is more of a manager, but that's just because of where it goes to. So I always think I know he was a wrestler beforehand, but I always think of how great he was as a manager.
Oh no, that's awesome. But he really was top heel as a wrestler. He was teaming up with Mr. Saito or Toru Tanaka, and he still did the salt all the time. He'd cheat if it felt better to not cheat. It's
well,
like
you ain't trying if you ain't cheating
as a wrestler. That's right. But then when he retired and became a manager, nothing changed. He was still the dastardly Japanese heel. He just didn't have to get in the ring as much, and he would still wrestle. Like when he managed Morocco, they would have tag team matches all the time.
Yeah. And he did quite a few 3-on-2 with the Powers of Pain and Demolition.
WrestleMania 5.
Yep.
But he always had the salt in his pocket. He was always hitting people with the cane or pulling the ropes with the cane.
Yep.
Dressed like Odd Job from the James Bond movies.
Notorious Great Ribber backstage as well.
Yes. Yeah, great. I would dare say sadistic. Didn't he feed Jimmy Snuka his dog?
That's what I hear, that he fed Jimmy Snuka his dog.
That might be a folk
He made
tale,
somebody's kid sick. He did. Fuji did all types of shit.
Yeah, the story is when he was managed by Blassie. Blassie told him, "You better not fuck with me, or I'm quitting." So Fuji never messed with Blassie, and he never messed with Yoko.
No.
When he started managing Yokozuna, he was like his caretaker. Heck, he really was a big help to him, and he took care of him. Didn't bother him.
Exactly. I'm about to say, yeah. He took care of Yoko.
Uncle Rodney.
Yep. I love Yoko. Yoko didn't make this list because he was billed as being from the Polynesian Islands, not from Japan. So
yeah.
I see what you did there.
He would represent Japan, but he was not Japanese.
Yeah.
But somebody who is Japanese.
There he is. I was wondering where he was going to be at.
Oh,
Pearl of the Orient.
High on my list.
Yeah, I figured he would be.
Earl of the Orient. Hey, look at Gary Hart. Look at that face. He always looks like he just got bad news.
Yeah, I got bad news, brother.
Show him the fingers.
I like that.
Watching that
face cam
Starrcade
there.
'89, that's when they showing the fingers.
Yeah, show him the fingers, referee. He don't understand you. Show him the fingers.
Which is just brilliant psychology by Gary Hart.
Very brilliant, very brilliant.
Because he was right in front of the camera too, so he made sure that they noticed it.
Hey,
I remember the first time I seen Muta, and it was on I was watching TBS. And it was one of the WCW shows, and he was beating the crap out of Sting, and I was like, "Oh, who is he?"
Oh man, Muta was bad news when I started watching him about 91, 92. And I think it might have been the Starrcade when he won Battle Bowl.
90. That would have been 92, and he had that match with Chono beforehand.
Yes, so that was the first time I'd seen Muta or Chono. I'd heard of Muta for years because I would always hear his name. I'd read the magazines and everything, but I didn't like when he was like there in '89. I didn't have TBS, so we didn't watch the clashes or anything like that.
Right. Same here.
Yeah, AJ chiming in. Muta versus Shinsuke earlier this year was a damn banger. It really was. I saw that match. It was really good. Muta retired, of course, this year, so went into the Hall of Fame, well overdue, and went into our Hall of Fame. He's a JTR Hall of Famer too.
Yep, he is a JTR member.
Yeah.
Yeah, always one of my favorites. So cool to watch. When I rented Halloween Havoc '89 and he put the fire out on the cage with the mist. When the pyro like set the vines or whatever it was on the dressing, the studio dressing, whatever it was, and they couldn't reach it to put it out, so he just climbed up the cage and blew it out with the mist. I was like, that's a badass.
Who's your number 3, Mark?
Number 3, one of my very favorites, the Clawmaster.
The Clawmaster, yeah.
Oh man. Former later on manager of the Powers of Pain in '88.
The Baron,
yeah. Funny story. When my brother got married, as a wedding present, his friend gave him a videotape with AWA shows from like the late '70s, early '80s, and it was after Baron had turned babyface, but he was feuding with Heenan and like Bockwinkel and Lanza and all those guys. And he would always come out for his interviews. Now, keep in mind, Jim Raschke's from Nebraska. they made him Baron von Raschke from Germany.
From Nebraska.
AJ, he did pop up a couple years. Didn't he put Jericho in the Claw?
Possibly.
He was in AEW because he was like he was in the crowd. He's in the front row. He put somebody in the Claw, and I think it was Jericho.
Probably because whoever would make people pop is who Jericho works with. So
true. But no, in this videotape, it was mostly promos actually. It was like their TVs would be promos than like an enhancement match. But whenever Baron would come out for his promo, he would always have his hand like this, and just out of nowhere, he would just put it up like that while he was talking. like really putting over that claw can happen anywhere. And he talked about
it has a mind of its own.
He talked about the Wiesel and Bockwinkel and all these guys with that thick German accent of his that wasn't real, but German. I believed it.
It was manufactured.
There was a story, I didn't see it, but I heard a story that one time they were trying to put over how devastating the claw was. He went to put it on somebody in the corner, and the guy moved, and he put it on the turnbuckle. So he had the claw, and then they couldn't get the hand off. Like they had it, like they were trying to. So he pulled the hand, and the turnbuckle came off with it.
Oh,
like they were trying to put over how strong his hand was, and how devastating that iron claw was. So they had to pull the turnbuckle off of the.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
But no, so I have a soft spot for the Baron. Getting on in years nowadays, but still pretty spry, you know. I haven't heard of any like significant health problems for him these days, but I think he's in his 80s now. He looked like he was 60 then.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I love the Baron. As little as I actually saw of him in the ring until YouTube came around. Then you go watch stuff he did with Vern or with the Crusher. He was a tag team champion with the Crusher when they lost the titles to the Road Warriors in the AWA.
Look at that
Look,
guy.
he looks exactly the same. Okay.
82.
Okay, so he's Vashiki's age.
Yep.
Put that in perspective.
Yeah.
And he had his own cookies too in the AWA. Oatmeal raisin, I believe.
Oh wow. I didn't know that. Don't market anything.
Marketing sucked.
All right. Shall we move on to number 2?
Let's.
All right. Former WWF champion, the
Yeah.
Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff.
The Russian Bear.
Yeah, I thought about putting Nikita somewhere on this list, but I think Ivan had a more lasting legacy as a heel.
Yeah.
Nikita didn't have a long run as a heel. He was a babyface for a lot of that run he had. But Ivan's the guy that beat Bruno in 1971.
Yep.
For that, he ended the 8-year reign of Bruno Sammartino, the one that AJ says Roman's going to eclipse at any time.
No.
No, I don't. But there's no footage of it. But the story goes that when Bruno got pinned, the garden went completely silent.
I'd believe it.
Nobody expected Bruno to lose, especially to a Russian, Canadian Russian. But Bruno said that when they counted 3, he thought he went deaf because he couldn't hear anything. It was because it was silent.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Then 3 weeks later, he was the Iron Sheik before the Iron Sheik because he held the title for about 3 weeks before Pedro beat him. Pedro Morales.
Pedro Morales.
He was the guy that Vince Sr. used to get from Bruno to Morales. Then they did it again with Stan Stasiak because I think he held it for like 8 days between Pedro and Bruno again. So they always did their transitional champions. Ivan I get because Pedro was so hot. And New York was a very ethnic territory. Bruno was the guy for the Italians. Pedro was the guy for the Hispanics. They didn't have a Russian demographic, really. Not a lot of Russians in New York that I know of. But
oh, jeez, here we go again.
It always makes me wonder if they would have had a Jewish baby face in New York. Because there's a large Jewish population there. Well, they didn't have one. I'm wondering if they would have found one. Moishe Goldbaum is a baby face.
God, wait, did you say Moishe? That's wonderful.
Yeah. We lost him again.
Oh, wow. I stunned Bari into disappearance.
You got him into disappearance. How did that work? Oh, goodness.
So, he's going to create Moishe Goldbaum on his WWE game later tonight.
AJ, get on it.
But
AJ's already created all 3 of us, so he needs to create you and Stace, too.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Bari, you all right there?
You all right?
He keeps knocking me out for some reason. I don't know why.
I thought you were going to create Moishe Goldbaum on your video game.
I'll put a Hebrew next to it. I'll come back to it, though.
The Hebrew Hammer, Moishe Goldbaum.
We need to get AJ on making Mark and Stacy, too.
Yeah.
We can't all be Moishe Goldbaum. It's actually, I'm sorry, buddy, you misspelled that. I think it's Moisthe or something like that.
Yeah, it's Moishe.
Moishe.
Like Moishe the Beetle.
And his manager, Uncle Shlomo. I need to tread lightly. I don't want to get letters.
You need to digress. I digress. Oh, wait, we're not Taz. My bad.
Yeah. So, back to Ivan Koloff, because we
went off on a tangent.
We flew off of topic here. We're talking about Russians, and then we go into Moishe Goldbaum. Yeah, Ivan, so good. And we talked about Ivan a little bit, Bari, on Gold Rush Friday, when we were talking about Nikita. He basically taught Nikita everything in the late 80s, how to be a really good heel.
Yeah. Yes, AJ, yes. Stacy's going to be the best baby face ever.
Just don't make me a spot monkey, AJ.
You won't be.
I have one request. Give me the J Driller for a finish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best finish of the last 20 years.
Yeah, well, Tour of the Islands is very close, but
That's very close, very close. But I love that double underhook pile driver though. Should we get to number one? We're going a little long here.
Okay. Are we taking bets on who it is? Because I feel like we might have talked about this person a lot already.
right.
All right, give me a guess. Who do you think number one is, Minderz?
Gotta be Sheiky, baby.
Ari?
Sheiky baby.
All right. Well, our number one is, and I've done a little more production here.
Nope. Looky there.
Sheiky baby.
Sheiky, baby.
Yes. Look at that picture. Is that a sword in his mouth?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
That's the
Looks more
happiest
like a
I've seen him in
cane.
years.
Right?
You never see him smile. He's always had that Sheik face. So you never really saw his choppers like in some sort of a smile.
Smile wasn't in his story.
No.
He was the angry Iranian.
Yes.
But
You know,
man,
out of
I mean,
all these guys, Ivan and the Iron Sheik are probably the two best looking ones.
wait, hang on. You're
Don't,
saying
don't-
Ivan?
That one? Yes.
Ivan? I'll say this. Ivan looks distinguished.
Yes.
I'm not going to say handsome. Big head.
Well, okay, so.
What about this guy?
No! Not the water bottle.
Or that guy?
No. Either one of the kendos suck, okay?
All right. So what can we
but
say about
Sheiky,
the Iron
baby,
Sheik?
that
What
we
can we
haven't.
say about the Sheik that we haven't said already today?
Yeah. So good.
So good.
good.
So real.
Yeah.
Definitely, probably the most legit heel they had as far as in ring.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really a no-brainer for Sheik. Piper could have made it on as a Scotsman, I suppose, but I didn't go there.
You know, okay. You want my honorable mention? And you
Go ahead.
might not agree with me on this, but I'll go with it. Prince Devitt.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Technically England. Technically
Ireland.
Irishman. Sorry.
But he
But-
was a foreign heel in two different countries, in Japan and in the U.S.
Yeah. So I
His
go
heel
with
work in
Prince Devitt.
Japan was great.
Yeah.
I see your Devitt, and I raise you a Gunter / Walter.
I almost put him on the list. Two guys I almost put. Well, three guys. I really kicking myself for not putting Regal on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then,
that's 10B. We'll go 10B.
right. And then the other guy, Minoru Suzuki, was on my
Okay,
my
yeah.
long list. Scariest damn wrestler I think I've ever seen. There was
We need to do one of just good heels at one point, not necessarily foreign
Oh, yeah.
heels, but
yeah. we just
Sheiky's
take
still
away the
going to be at the
qualifier.
top. I mean, Sheiky's still going to be at the top.
He's going to
but-
be definitely easily top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of these days I need to go back on NJPW World and try to find the match that Suzuki had with Shibata about 5 years ago. That was a banger. I think it was in one of the tournaments, like New Japan Cup, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our Top 10 Tuesday. What do you say we pay a couple bills here before we say goodbye? ProWrestlingTees.com/JTRPod for t-shirts for all of our shows here. This is the newest one here. It's kind of like a knockoff of an AEW kind of logo a little bit. But pretty much says everything we need it to say. We talk wrestling because we do. That's about all we talk about. Several other shirts on there. I'm waiting to hear back on one design that I put out today, but I haven't heard back yet. So stay tuned on the social medias for that one. BrainbusterTees.com/others/JTR-podcast-network. Get all the t-shirts, baseball shirts, hoodies, fanny pack, caps, stickers. And we have a brand new one that just got released today. Kind of our tribute
really
to the
like
Heart
that one.
Foundation. This
really
one you
like
can
that
get.
one.
You can
I
get
like
this
it
as
too.
you can get this as a T-shirt or a tank top, or you can get a sticker with the logo there for $5. So some more stuff to dig into. But that sticker looks sharp on your car there, Minderz.
I have 2 stickers I already have to get on my car.
Oh, that's true. All
And
right.
actually, I'm
And,
thinking about putting the stickers on magnets, so in that way it doesn't leave the mark on my car.
ooh, you can do that.
Mark, we'll talk about it later.
We'll
You
talk
can
later.
buy a big sheet of magnet and cut it out with an X-Acto knife.
Ooh, nice.
I used to do that with pictures. I used to do that with pictures.
All right. Well, if you want to find us social media, I finally got our Instagram account going. For some reason, the original one disappeared. I may have just forgotten the handle. So go at JTR Podcast Network on Instagram. Follow us there. Twitter at JTR Pod. Facebook, Jumping the Rail Podcast. JTR Podcast Network on YouTube. And I've got one more special thing to put on before we say goodbye. One final nod to the Sheik. So before I play this, we'll say our goodbyes. So Bari, thank you for helping us out today.
Not a problem. Anytime.
And let's see. Minderz, you got anything you want to say before we're gonna have?
I was going to plug Devontae Knox is going to be on the show tomorrow.
Talk about the shootout tomorrow. You're back. We took a week off.
We took a week off, which I think was well deserved because we've been going at this long and hard. So
yeah, it's not unheard of to do a week off here and there.
Take a break, yeah.
But so back to the shootout tomorrow.
We have Devontae Knox coming on. I'm excited to talk to Devontae.
Yeah, a return guest. He was on early on the show. Now we've kind of figured out what we're doing. We'll do it again.
It should be a lot. I know. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
But
oh, we lost Bari. I think we may have lost Bari for good. I don't think he's gonna. I mean, we're wrapping up. So if he doesn't come back,
we're wrapping up. He doesn't need to come back if he doesn't want
All
to.
right. Well,
but yeah, Devontae, Mr. Iron Cakes tomorrow.
Mr. Iron Cakes, yes. So we're looking forward to that. And before I get this video for Minderz, for Bari, this is Redmond from you all. Life is hard, work stiff. Rest in peace, Khosrow Vaziri, aka the Iron Sheik. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks with our grading of the AEW roster. So see you later.
خسرو وزیری و ویکتور ونتر و همه دنیا الدروشا من شما را میشناسم بله بیا آیت الله جین اوکلند و همه دنیا جانکیار داگ و مردم ایران همه شما را میشناسه مخصوصا مک شارپ ان اشمیارج مک شارپ و همه دنیا بله بیا آیت الله والی کاربو ورنگانیا من شما را میشناسم مولا بله بیا آیت الله خمینی و مردم ایران کمالا روشن علا بیا آیت الله من